Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, and children of all ages, and welcome to the Chaos 120 live stream for this, the 27th of April, 2018. We have a full panel with us tonight. Usual crew, a couple of new faces. We're going to have people hopping in and out all night. It's just a typical Friday night here on Chaos. Just going to run us through the panel really quick because I want to get down to business. So with us tonight, we have A Time to Speak.
Hey, I'm A Time to Speak. I'm here somewhat.
Very cool. I'm glad to have you with us. We have...
I eat ass.
That's my roommate.
Cool. We have with us voice of Burnside.
Greetings, motherfuckers. I'm getting ready to fire up my tank.
Awesome. We have Irving Twin.
Bonsoir, mes amis.
Awesome.
Ooh, that cork pop.
We have with us the Messiah of Keck himself, Dick Daddy Foster.
Well, Seymour, I made it, despite your directions.
We have with us, for the first time I've ever streamed with this gentleman, I'm looking forward to this, Skeptok.
Hey, everybody, nice to meet you. I'm old and bitter.
Well, you're on the right stream then.
Oh, you're like cheese.
I think so.
Yes. We have with us Terracin.
Hi.
And last but certainly not least, the next 6 minutes.
Hello, I'm the next 6 minutes. I apologize. I'm a little brain fried. I spent a couple hours reading really weird shit on Weibo's channel.
Well, you're on Weibo's channel, so no surprise there.
Yeah.
Yeah, seriously. It makes my channel look tame.
But I will endeavor to do my best.
Very cool. Very cool. So, anyone have anything interesting happen to them in the past week? I know I've had a wild week, but I want to hear from you guys. What's going down?
It sounds like Burnside's getting backed over by a truck or something. I don't know what's going on.
He's in his...
I wasn't shitting. I'm literally firing up the tank. I'm heading to work, so I just fired up the Kevlar plated Saab. I was contemplating maybe stop a couple smokes.
And the peace talks were going so well.
So essentially, Burnside drives around in the Batmobile.
Yeah, but it's a Saab.
I mean, he's not doing a very good job if he's working in Chicago.
I can picture him driving across the... You can't, honestly, though, I can picture him trying to drive that thing across the rooftops like it's a tumbler.
Incredibly, I need a permit for that.
You need a permit for everything in Chicago.
I really need a permit.
So, all right.
So I got something. I don't know how interesting you're all going to find it. I recently got a promotion. I'm now in the training team. I train new hires. I lost my very first trainee.
Oh.
Yeah. Last day of training, on break, he just walked into the training office, handed in his ID, said I quit. And this was shortly after. He had a little blow up with me, right? And you guys know what I can be like, right? I can spurg out, I can lose my shit, I can be terribly abrasive and condescending. I checked with the other training supervisor if I was any of those things, and she's like, no, God, no. You've been so patient with this guy. And at that point during his little blow up, he's very tall. He's like 6'3". He was like leaning in towards me.
I
wasn't sure whether or not he was going to hit me. And yeah, so that does not look good to the.
What do you train them to do?
To unload trucks safely and correctly.
Okay.
Right. So it's not particularly complicated, but the moment I laid eyes on him, I was like, oh, this guy's got a chip on his shoulder. He doesn't want to be here. He doesn't like the pay. He doesn't everything. Like, he was just so negative right from the get go. And yeah, I had a feeling that he would quit or be fired. But yeah, I really wasn't sure whether or not he was going to try and hit me. So that was fun.
Don't you love dealing with this young generation?
And the thing is, still somehow, this is how I know I'm actually like management. Is I'm thinking, what could I have done differently? How did I lose this guy?
That's great.
It's better than at the lows where just in training, like 2 of the kids didn't show up half the time. And when I say kids, one of them was like in their 50s, and was a substitute teacher.
That actually happens a lot, right? Where we'll have a class, like it's like 3 days of class and then 5 days of actual training on the job. And you're supposed to have 5 people in the class, and day 1 only 4 show up.
Oh,
right?
One kid showed up like an hour and a half late. I'm like, oh, my roommate's having a fun time if you hear that. But yeah, he shows up an hour and a half late, and he's like, "What I missed?" I'm like, "Oh, you're probably not going to be here a while."
Isn't that great being in management? You know, when the employee shows up or they, better yet, they call you and say, "It's okay if I come in an hour late this morning, right?" No, it's not. You want absolution, but I'm not granting it. Fuck off.
Yeah.
Yeah, I usually never phrase anything like that. I'll be like, I'm going to be an hour late due to this, but I will be in around approximately this time, yada, 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 if it happens. But normally I end up dragging myself regardless.
No, I mean, generally you get 1, right? Like Murphy's Law. Something bad is going to happen, and you're going to be late. And, sure. But
Oh, God.
twice, we got to have a talk. 3rd time, there's got to be some sort of disciplinary action. That's just, you can't avoid it.
I remember it's a hell of a road to get to the lows I work at during off seasons now. I can imagine people getting lost because it's just a major pain in the ass road that it's better than the last 2 years I've been there. But I'm like, oh, people are going to get lost here. Because it's like, well, you can't make a left here. So you have to go dive into this parking lot and go over here. And it's just, I don't know. It's like very poorly designed.
Yeah.
Because the turn off for the roundabout is immediately after the light instead of before it, like most normal road planning is. But this is Pennsylvania, so it's right after the light. So you'll have to go straight on that and then immediately say, yeah, I'm turning to the right. So it's just, I don't know. It's just horrible design to get there.
Yeah.
That's one thing I'm not going to miss. Or not looking forward to going back for.
Yeah. Yesterday, I kind of have to give people an explanation of what went down. Why I started so late. For some reason, Chrome has decided it will not let me, not log out from one account to the other. Not able to use that button at all. The button that gets to the Creator Studio and all the other stuff won't let me actually use that at all. I had to actually manually type in my channel name to get to my channel because the menu on the left side of the screen would not open up and allow me to get to my channel. The button on the right side would not allow me to do anything with that. So I was essentially left with really one option. Either do just a regular, like a Google Hangouts, or I could use the old code from the stream that I had done previously, which was the tea time stream. That's why, for many, they saw the information for the tea time stream. Like I was talking to Irving Nets, and he said that's essentially what he saw at the very beginning. I was using the code from the previous stream, and then I had to change the information kind of on the fly. So that's why that looked the way it did. I checked this. I checked today to see if anything was different, and no, it's not different. So I am using Firefox on my desktop now, because that's the only way I'm going to be able to actually use OBS and do the interview hangout with Tara tomorrow. We couldn't do it today because it's a new account and I've never live streamed with it before. So I'm talking about, of course, the Chaos 120 group site channel thing.
Side question: what are the requirements for live streaming? 100 subs?
This one, it's requiring me to have a 24-hour. It's a 24-hour confirmation period. So I couldn't. I had to initialize all the stuff, and it's making me wait 24 hours. So that's why we couldn't get that done today. That's why no interview stuff on that thing. So that's how that worked out. I suppose learning this now and not a week later when I thought I was gonna start with this stuff. Yeah, get it out of the way. Whatever. Anyhow, that's why that shit went down, and hopefully I can find ways to get around some of the limitations that have been placed on me by Chrome by using Firefox instead. Hopefully it's a stable enough operating browser to get what I need done. Unfortunately, I don't remember my Twitter login, so I got to use fucking Chrome at the same time I'm using. It's just a bunch of bullshit. Anyhow, I saw Infinity War today. It was good. Go see it. My favorite part was when Godzilla stepped on Sonic the Hedgehog. And Captain Jack Sparrow. Yeah, Captain Jack Sparrow and his pirate crew was able to rescue Optimus Prime from the evil clutches of Skeletor. So it's
Did Lassie get the little kid out of the well?
Certainly did. He used his rocket boots.
Yeah, if I remember, this is just a bit odd. Yeah, I don't think you can use Hangouts on Firefox anymore with their nonsense. That's why I actually have to go onto my Chrome for this. Because I remember they purposely slowed it a couple of years ago, back when I had my different channels, and would do a Hangout from time to time. This is probably more around 2015, towards the end of all those. Well, two of them.
But then they actually fully canceled its support sometime last year, right?
Yeah.
If there is that problem, then what I can do is certainly change out the information using Firefox, and then go through OBS through Chrome with a new stuff added to the fields, as opposed to using the old stuff, which I had to do last night. And that was not good because we started late, and it really just did not recover. It was the whole stream was off, and it was unfair to my guests. So that's why I'm so apologetic about it.
Can we use Opera next time?
Maybe.
Fucking hell, man. These jagoffs wanted $3.05 for a fucking gallon of gas. God,
Cheaper, that's actually more expensive than here, but it's getting close.
How much
Ours
is
was
premium?
like $2.79,
Yeah,
and that's regular.
I know premium went up because I went to get gas at Sunoco, and I'm like, oh, is this just Sunoco being very pricey? And then I looked, I'm like, oh, this isn't it. This is a couple of weeks ago. I'm trying to think what I paid. So I
It's
don't know.
$2.65 here in Texas. We're not used to that.
Yeah, what's the apocalypse joke? $5 a gallon gas? Right? That's how you know the world is ending. You know, we pay by the liter, so we don't really realize how much we pay by the gallon. We're already paying like $7 a gallon.
And the fun part is in Europe, the way they actually measure, like how we have 87, 93 octane or whatever, the systems they measure in it are similar and then completely different. I haven't played around with too much while in Europe with cars because I really haven't driven in Europe outside of the big lorries when we went from Warsaw to Schledland and into Copenhagen. That was a fun trip, but I honestly couldn't tell too much because I remember I'm like, oh god, this seems a lot for gas, but I'm like, this isn't exactly the thing to gauge it with because this is an old ass truck that we're taking loaded with shit in a little like caravan to move my friend from Warsaw to Copenhagen.
Sounds like fun.
Yeah, it was interesting. Germany looked a lot different than I remember it in certain areas. Dresden seemed okay, but other areas kind of looked like shit. This was in like
were there more falafel stands than you had remembered?
yeah, it reminded me of my great aunt's house in Queens with the Al Habib markets everywhere. I remember that. It's just like this little Irish neighborhood in Queens. I think I mentioned this to Scooby when we were bullshitting one time. It's like this little Irish, because they're Irish. She's adopted by our family because her parents died in a car crash when she was a baby. So they're living in this Irish area, and if you go to the end of the street, there's the Al Habib market, and it's just like this little Irish settlement in the middle of a bunch of like Indians. And it's just interesting. Yeah, see that, or you're in Russians and Chinese in Brooklyn.
It's funny because I was walking the dog yesterday, and he stopped because it startled him. And there's been families, for years, but the weather was nice yesterday. So the Indian family was out, and the grandparents were there. And when the women wear all of not like when I say veils, I don't mean veils like the Sharia folks. Yeah, when it just looks like they're wearing like a bunch of handkerchiefs that are thrown together.
More or less. I forgot the name. Starts with an S, I think.
Yeah, the dog had never seen that before, and he was really puzzled looking at it. And I'm, leaning over and I'm explaining to him. I'm like, it's okay, Patches, because he didn't understand what the hell she was wearing, because, he's not used to seeing that. Yeah, it was like confusing him because it was a little bit windy. So he just sees this woman walking towards him. He didn't know. She looked like a Christmas tree to his eyes, I guess.
A Christmas tree. That's funny.
Well, her dress was green. That's why. So.
Yeah, I don't remember names for a lot of traditional garb, really. Hell, I don't even remember half the shit from Okinawa when I was there. We talked more about genetics with Jiro than anything, because it's fucking me, and we're talking about genetics and the random sprays through what the mess that is Southeast Asia and Indonesia, Malaysia. It's like, there's these people, then there's these people, then there's these people colonizing this people so much that like the actual Malayans in Singapore are now like the minority to Chinese.
Isn't age of consent down around there like 12?
I think it's like 14 in Japan. It's all over the fucking place.
No. I mean like Indonesia.
I don't know. They're a Muslim country, so I would.
Yeah, it's actually a little bit more conservative in Indonesia.
Oh, don't talk about communists in Indonesia. You'll get fucking murdered. It's just about as bad as bringing drugs in the country. Also, hey, Cass. Like, there was actual... I'm going to say the documentary, because I remember watching it after studying up on the subject. The Act of Killing, if you ever look it up, it's a really good documentary about... it's basically when they had their base... Like, they had this militarized militia. I forgot what their name was again, because it's Indonesian, and it's kind of like Thai with me, that I'm like, oh god, what the fuck does this language mean? I don't know. Like, Thai just comes so foreign to me out of most languages. Like,
it's strange.
They don't have their own form of anime for you to watch. Is that it?
I haven't been to Java and had the spice. I haven't tried the spice of the Spice Islands. But look, the area was overwhelmingly Hindu under the Majapahit Empire, I think that's what they were called. But there was a huge like Muslim invasion after probably around the turn of like around 1200, I think. And
invasion
now
of Muslims, you say?
So the people that basically live there, like the Hindus, they're on the single island of Bali now, which is right next to Java, which is the long flattish island that's more rectangular. I don't know how else to really describe it because I don't have a map up, but that's where like the most of them are, because they more or less were persecuted out, and that's why they're overwhelmingly like Muslim nowadays. But there's a lot like, also if you're Chinese, that's another bad thing. One, if you're a communist, you're probably going to get yourself killed. Two, if you're Chinese, you're probably going to be intimidated to high fucking hell because they don't like Chinese either. Oh, it's a real interesting, like, if you look up the documentary, it'd take a while, but basically there's a military coup. They have their own little militias on the side that basically went around and killing communist, quote unquote, which really just your general term for people you don't really like. Kind of like what we have now, except less killing so far. Except the other way around.
It's funny. My sister-in-law actually went to Bali last summer for her honeymoon.
Oh,
Yeah, I was actually kind of shocked by that. I think Bali. The first thing I think of is like when they show the film footage of Obama's childhood. People riding the elephants through the jungle with banana plants on their heads. That
Oh
sort of
my
shit.
God.
What? He grew up in that part of the world. It's a fact. Read the shit up. Read up on Obama. He was born in Hawaii. Then they moved to Indonesia, and he was raised over there by.
And that's because his stepdad was Muslim.
Yeah, I'm not saying that shit trying to be like snide. If you ever see, type in pictures of Indonesia. They don't usually show you pictures of their cities. They show you the people without shoes riding elephants, with a fucking bunch of bananas on top of their heads.
a wonderful jungle. And
Hey, who told you about my weekends?
That's a lot of potassium.
Hey, dual wield. What's shaking?
What's going on?
Not much, brother.
Usually I can't make it, so this time I did.
welcome to the party.
Good to see you, man.
Hey, Cass.
What's up?
Irving. Everybody's here. Hi.
How you doing, man?
Hey. Yeah, well, we got a good topic. A lot of good stuff in the news that Six is going to get to eventually. I heard that Florida was ripping and roaring this week, so.
Yeah.
Hey, Scoop.
And before we get to that, just wanted to mention really quick, Irving, I want to see that big old smile. Okay, so the Winnipeg Jets are currently up 3-1 on the Nashville Predators with 6:27 left in the third period. So it looks good for the Jets.
In absentia, sorry, vet.
No, you're not.
Not really, no.
I always root for Winnipeg because I think of those poor people who live in Winnipeg. That's all they have.
I was one of them.
Oh, that's all that's there.
Yeah, no, I mean, well, there's also undeclared war between natives and Ukrainians.
Well, there's that, yes.
Oh, don't mess with the Ukrainians.
Two things.
And let's see, we got a few things on the tap for Chaos News. Let's see. Colleen Bernier has some interesting stories for us. I will try to not lose my voice after having read a bunch of bizarre shit on Weibo's channel just a little while ago.
Well, Six, do you want me to take something?
I'm good. Let's see.
Just so that we don't permanently damage that beautiful succulent voice of yours.
Well, let's see. We have this. This is not a show that I actually watched, but I was aware of its existence. Something called Kim Possible.
I watched it.
Oh, I remember
It's-
I saw it
that.
as a kid. Don't
It's
I've
worry.
live.
watched the animated porn versions.
It's.
I was
it
her
is-
for Halloween last year.
I remember when Randy Stair or Andrew Blaze, whatever you want to call him, went on his shooting spree. A lot of people thought it was Kim Possible and not fucking Danny Phantom or whatever.
Oh god, that fucker.
Oh, I just love him. Like being killed by that guy. I remember him trying to shoot with a shotgun and he just fucking, it's like maybe 10 feet away.
Like only 5 meters he actually gets
Yeah.
to hit. Everyone else he just
And he keeps
fucking
shooting
misses.
and he keeps fucking missing. I'm like, it's a shotgun.
Yep.
You're right in front of it. It's a jug of water. It shouldn't be that hard. He's like, I bought 30 fucking shells, man. I'm like, well, he's gonna need all of them. God.
Yeah. Well, as it turns out, they have found the live action stars for this upcoming live action iteration.
Oh my god.
Ew.
Yeah.
Look better
The-
than the Teen
It
Titans.
wasn't that great in the beginning.
Like,
Disney Channel
take that back.
has.
No, I won't.
oh god.
The
I
Disney
hear the
Channel
radio
has just revealed the stars of the upcoming Disney Channel original movie Kim Possible, a live-action comedy adventure based on the hit animated series of the same name.
Wait,
16
really quick. Six. I'm guessing in the name of diversity to play Kim Possible, they got Naori Naughton, right?
No, she looks kind of. She's fairly Caucasian, and
The naked mole rat will be brown.
the boy star.
No, you gotta have a real
Naked
fucking
Mole
mole
Rat
rat.
was going to be played by Laura Dern.
That's like,
So the
As
girl
usual.
star is actually girly looking, but the guy I can't say the same for. He kind of looks like a little soy boy.
Ron.
The actual show.
Soy boys.
That's
I
what
remember.
he's supposed to look
Was the
like.
blonde kid?
Ugh, I need more of that soy.
Let's see. 16-year-old Sadie Stanley will play Kim Possible, who challenges the social hierarchy of high school every day and saves the world from power-hungry villains in her spare time. It's almost like a Japanese trope that only 15-year-olds can save the world.
Oh god.
Yeah, pretty much.
That's because they're barely legal.
Oh, the guy just looks kind of sad. Like you could break him really easily.
Yeah.
He's supposed to look that way.
I know. I
Ron-
remember the
Yeah.
character was kind of like, yeah, it's the blonde kid with freckles.
Yeah.
I remember.
Yeah. Stanley landed the role in her first ever audition. Well, lucky for her. Has since guest starred on Game Shakers, whatever the hell that is.
Oh,
Sean Giambrone, who stars in the ABC comedy The Goldbergs, will play Kim's BFF, Ron Stoppable. Interesting.
Sweet.
Game Shakers was a certain something. It's like, hey, we're kids and we're making video games. Hello, fellow kids.
Hello, fellow gamers.
Let's see. Judy Taylor, Senior Vice President, Casting and Talent Relations, Disney Channel, said Sadie delivers Kim's confidence, smarts, and agility, and most importantly, she's an everyday girl with an extraordinary spirit. She added, Sean is such a magnetic actor. He always finds the right balance of physical comedy and heart. We're excited for audiences to see Sadie and Sean bring these iconic roles to life. Well, I wish them the best of luck.
My supervisor's going to be happy. She watched it when she had her first children.
Well, I was going to say, at least they'll probably look better than the Teen Titans.
Oh, hopefully so.
Oh,
Hopefully
God,
so.
That's a certain bar that's really hard to fuck up. I say that with hopeful.
Yeah, when I saw that, I thought, wait, I didn't know Star had a fucking sugar daddy.
Yeah, she
God.
had not a sugar daddy, a full-on pimp.
She's doing them rumble tumbles for 5 cents.
They do better just to go to conventions and pick random nerds with cosplays.
I said Orange Lives Matter, all right? That's all.
Well, speaking of some freaky shit, NHL reportedly asked Brad Marchand to stop licking opposing players.
What?
That's one way to catch him off guard.
Now I gotta think of a new tactic for him. That one.
Is it during the 60 minutes?
Okay, let's see.
Wait. Does he do it during the 60 minutes?
I don't know. Let's see. With many great nuggets in his regular 31 Thoughts column, but this bit on how the NHL reportedly responded to Brad Marchand's, is it Marchand or Marchand? Obnoxious kissing and licking of Leo Komarov from Game 1 might just take the cake. After Game 1 of the Boston-Toronto series, the Bruins got a "we'd prefer if you could tell Brad Marchand to stop licking people" phone call from the NHL. Seems fair enough. That said, you wonder if the NHL might have sent the Boston Bruins past a better message by, say, handing him a fine for unsportsmanlike conduct. The league could have attached a helpful message such as, "There are better ways to tell Leo Komarov that you like his cologne." One can only imagine how harsh the discipline might have been if Sean Avery was the one committing this infraction. As a reminder, Marchand addressed his actions after the Game 1 win, not exactly apologizing for his actions. You could say that Marchand had the last laugh, being that the Boston Bruins ended up winning the series in Game 7 thanks to last night's 7-4 win. Again, Komarov didn't get to dress for that game, so it doesn't seem totally fair. The bottom line is that Marchand revels in this sort of controversy, even though he's gone from a good player with bad habits to an elite one who still makes questionable decisions.
Amazing.
Yeah, while Marchand surely gives the Bruins headaches with his antics and sometimes suspensions, don't forget that there were years of rumors that his behavior might get him traded, at least before he jumped another level or two. He's a huge part of the dominant line with Patrice Bergeron and David Pasternak. For all we know, Marchand wouldn't be the same player if he avoided some of the uglier stuff. Hockey is a violent, emotional sport, after all.
You know he's got somebody at home saying, "Why do you keep licking people?" It's like, it's my thing. It's my signature move.
See, and all I'm saying is if it happens during playtime, right? It's a simple penalty. 2 minutes for high licking.
Right. It's the crowd pleaser, man.
It's not what we've been
Gotta give
given
them
the
something
licking.
with their
The
money.
only question I have to ask is he gay or European?
Neither.
They come for the game. They stay for the licking.
He's just weird.
Give him a good licking.
You know, back in my day, the hockey players used to fight each other when during halftime. Now they're just licking each other, and it's just a big faggot parade.
It's probably a pretty good way to catch someone off guard, because, well, what normal fucking person licks someone? It's like, oh shit, what the hell was that?
No, not if it becomes like a thing. It could be like their signature move.
Yeah, you just start to expect
That
it.
your
after a while.
AIDS testing isn't positive.
Yeah, just slide up right behind them, gently caress their shoulders, blow into their ear, whisper sweet nothings, and then just...
Foster, were you listening to the fan fiction shit we were reading earlier?
Oh God, why did I come here?
And that ass is called free real estate.
So you're right. Yeah, after this stream, go hit up Weibo's friggin' channel. It's right there. It's like almost 4 hours of this shit.
Oh man,
it is.
I don't know how you survive.
It is 110% brain cancer shit.
Yeah,
You'll love it. You'll love it.
If you can't sleep and you don't want to sleep, go watch that.
Yeah. Or you can do like these crawfish did. After they escaped a restaurant, they ran from their freedom in parking lot.
Nice.
A visit.
Ran over.
A visitor to a Cajun restaurant in Texas captured video of some apparently escaped crawfish making a run for freedom in the parking lot. Jennifer Trail said she was driving behind B&B's Cafe in Pearland on Sunday when she came across a trio of crawfish making a run for freedom after apparently escaping from inside the eatery. Here's something you did not see every day, she wrote on Facebook. I hope they make it. Freedom! Trail said there was a fourth crayfish that appeared to have been run over by a car. Burnside, were you in Texas? It was unclear how the crawfish escaped the restaurant. It was unclear how the crawfish escaped the restaurant and whether their bid for freedom was ultimately successful. Also, nobody could explain the inexplicable dun 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 background music accompanying their escape.
See, I'm weird. In my head, they would have sounded like those three pigeons from that cartoon.
Oh, what good feathers?
Yeah. Straight up.
Oh God, I hated that cartoon.
Well, anyway, I came by to say what's up. Wish you guys a happy night and hope you had a great week and a wonderful weekend.
Watch out for escaping crayfish.
If I see them, I'm gonna catch them and eat them. I am from Maryland. I like to fucking cook shellfish. Crabs, but
wait! Before you leave, I'm so glad I just remembered. Are you going to be up in New York at all this summer?
No, but I can try. I am going actually down to Texas pretty soon.
Oh, okay, cool.
Working my way around.
Reason I ask, I think I had mentioned it to you a while ago. I'm an alumnus from Jam Master Jay's Scratch DJ Academy in Manhattan.
Yes, sir.
We're having an alumni event this summer, and I got invited to it, and I told you if I ever have to go to one of those things, I'd let you know, and I'm letting you know. If you want to come, you can come with.
You're a man of your word. Off air, send me the dates, and let's see if we can work something out. If I get a little extra cash from picking up this job, I might skip over there.
Yeah, definitely. All right, I'll look at my email and see when they what date that they told me. I don't think it's not like it's going to be centered around like a holiday or anything. They just it's just I don't know. They have some date that they picked out. I think it's going to be like in August or something.
Might end up having my high school reunion this year in Maryland, so it's not that far of a drive. It's only 6 hours.
Yeah, there you go. All right, yeah, I'll let you know either way exactly what the date is, what's going on, and you come. Yeah, it's basically you'd be my plus one. My wife is not going. My wife said she's like, I'm not going to that shit. Just a bunch of screwballs sitting there playing with your records. So
I'll be up in the mix too. Like I didn't go here, but I wish I did.
Yeah, you like it too. When I went, DJ Smoke was our head instructor. But it was cool because the guy who was teaching the day that we learned how to scratch, we actually got taught by Grand Wizard Theodore.
Sweet.
So yeah. So this might be. I think it's like a commencement. Like they're putting like a new wing to the building or some shit, or they got another floor. I don't know, but so there's probably going to be like a lot of celebrities and shit. Unfortunately, a lot of these guys are pushing like 70 and 80 now. So I'm sure that they could scratch it. Yeah. Well, I mean, they could scratch when if they take hits off of the oxygen and shit. But other than that, they're probably going to be pretty sedentary. But I'll find out. I'll look at the information. I'll hit you up and I'll send it to you.
Thanks, Scoop. Everybody, have a wonderful night.
Good to see you, man. Good to see you.
Take care.
See you later, dude.
Hey, while we're still talking about crawfish, though, can I just quickly screen share my favorite crawfish meme?
Do it.
Sure. You don't think it's too shellfish?
Do it.
I remember picking the little bastards out of the creek as a kid.
Let's see. When
the squad try to roast you and you cook all of them. You think this is a game? Anyway.
Yeah.
And I wasn't allowed to play in the creek near my house because we have leeches, not crawfish.
Oh, dear.
Ooh.
Stand by me, baby.
Also, there's a sinkhole, which I haven't checked on because it's somewhere in the area of the property that I have to go through the cornfield.
Well, we used to, we were drag netting for bait up until I forget who was it. I don't want to say Cuomo. I think it might have been Pataki. One of them, they changed the laws. So the sewage treatment plant was just letting whatever go out. So we had to stop dragging because there was a few times we pulled in the net and instead of being full of like, crabs and bait and all sorts of good things, it was full of syringes.
Ooh. Yeah.
Sounds like my friend's old 85 Fox body.
Sounds like Cleveland.
Yeah. It still has that wonderful funky bad design.
It's sad. Fox bodies nowadays. Those are the Mustangs from the 80s for those people who don't know what the hell we're talking about. They got like a charm all their own now. I guess it's just I'm seeing them with price. Not even the price. I guess it's just I'm so used to seeing all the cars that look like Sudafeds with wheels because everything's aerodynamic that the Fox body has like a charm to it.
Mm-hmm.
Well, my T-Bird was I think it was like the most aerodynamic car for quite a while. That's like, hey, what if we don't add big blocks and fancy stuff? It's kind of like the precursor to the Taurus.
What year was it?
87. It was a turbo coupe, but the engine kind of was not in fun condition. So let's say I took an engine out of a busted up Mach 1 from 2003 and ended up incorporating that in with a little fun and transmission. Was it the T56 transmission? I really don't remember. I remember it wasn't that great of a transmission, all things considered.
God, you're asking the wrong guy. I wish that I actually had.
What transmission did I take from another car and put it into this car? Not the other one.
I was gonna say if we had Ajax on the stream, but he's still feeling under the weather. But if we had Ajax with us, Ajax, that's what he does, like for fun. He's an Uber gearhead.
Yeah, that was me until they sold the Corvair, which was another fun project with a lot more headaches and a lot more, hey, we're going to have to make this shit ourselves because we can't exactly buy that.
Did you say Corvair, not Corvette?
Corvair, 65. It's native.
Right. That's the native rollover vehicle.
Yeah, this is the second gen that was natorized, as we called them.
Wonderful.
That got a wonderful LS2 because I got it for $700 because my ex-girlfriend's uncle had one laying around and he didn't want it laying around. So he's like, hey, feel free to buy this engine off me. I'm like, okay. It wasn't a complete piece of shit. I was expecting, oh God, when ripping it to shreds, I was expecting just a horrible mess. And I'm like, okay, it's not too bad considering how long it's probably been sitting. That was a headache.
It's funny, times change. I back in the day I did that with cars. Accumulating Chevelle Malibu. With a pretty hot engine in it, and a Chevy Nova, kind of a muscle car.
Mm-hmm.
And now I do it with computers. I'm looking at a stack of 6 server class machines in one corner, another stack of laptops over here. Pathetic.
You know, I noticed that's kind of like the pattern that we all went through. We went from vehicles to firearms to fish tanks, and now everyone's onto computers.
Right. Yeah, I still am doing the firearms, unfortunately.
I'm talking like when people like, you know, you accumulate them, like you go like into these like I guess phases where you just like you splurge, like, you know, when you're younger, you know, usually I've noticed this when you're under 30, that's when you'll have like 3 or 4 vehicles at a clip.
Yep.
You know, like I live in New York. Where the fuck am I going to put 4 vehicles? But I'll have them. You know,
A good old neighbor with his 11 cars at 80 something, and 3 of them ran. And when I say 3 of them ran, one of them ran well, the other 2 ran, but you know.
Scooby, do you live in the city?
I live outside of it. I live on Long Island, right outside of Queens.
Okay.
So basically,
I used to live in Manhattan.
Okay. Okay.
I'm
So
Staten Islander here.
Well, let me ask you this, Scooby. There's this the story about a woman smashing a window at a New York City Popeyes because a $4 wicked deal doesn't come with soda. Did you hear anything about this?
What a travesty.
I would not be surprised if shit like that happening. I've seen stuff like that a lot. That's common. That's not like, you know, shocking to me.
Okay, this happened on Staten Island.
Yeah, that explains a lot. Yeah, you're probably better off asking Time because that's his neck of the woods. Yeah.
Well, it probably wasn't in Tottenville. It was probably in the more adventurous areas of our good old borough.
Well, we'll see what this actually says. The police are looking for a woman captured on surveillance video smashing the front window of a Popeyes restaurant with a chair, apparently angry because her $4 wicked good deal didn't come with a soft drink. It happened at a Popeyes on Forest Avenue on Staten Island Sunday, according to the NYPD. Security video shows the woman flipping off employees, then picking up a sign and throwing it. Finally, she uses a chair to smash a window. An employee who didn't want to be identified told News 4 the customer was drunk and angry because the $4 wicked good deal didn't come with a soda. Employees tried to explain that the deal includes an order of wicked chicken strips plus a side, a buttermilk biscuit, and dipping sauce, but does not include a soft drink. They told her she was confused and may have been thinking of Wendy's $4 meal deal, but she was so irate that she couldn't be reasoned with, the employee said. Hopefully they find her. I don't want her in the store, the employee said. The NYPD is asking for help identifying the woman. Last seen wearing a pink bandana, black jacket, and jeans.
I was about to say, what the hell was that on her head? Because it looks like it. I don't. Okay, yeah. Now it says that's bandana. Because if it was a hat, it's just. I don't know.
It's an odd-looking hat. Police think she's an adult between 18 and 25, though her tantrum she threw over a soda suggests otherwise.
I'm sorry. Yeah. Also, between 18 and 25 and still referring to people as adults. I mean, like, yeah, we have some sort of legal definition of adult, but I don't think that's true anymore. I think over the past, like, 100, 200 years, the human lifespan has actually expanded, especially, like, in the West, to such a degree. And the fact that we live so long as compared to, say, 200 years ago, I think the phases of life have expanded also, not just like, oh, you know, a dog is mature at 1 or 2 years and then they live for 15. If dogs lived for 100 years, I think they would be infants for 2 years and then toddlers for another few, right? And then the way we've grown, 18 isn't adult anymore. Our brains aren't finished till like 30.
Well, I wasn't. You know? I was an idiot for a long stretch into my 20s.
Who wasn't?
So,
like, I mean,
and considering how a lot of us are in school up until almost our 30s nowadays, depending what you do.
I'm 36, I'm looking to go back. Right?
I mean, it's not like a university will help you mature, and if anything, they coddle you to be a little pissant.
I went back to school at 31.
They teach you to be upset about your your kicking chicken deal not coming with a soda.
Yeah. And
Yeah,
Burnside's
looking at
down the
photos
well,
now,
but I
too.
couldn't hear what he was
It's
saying.
It's kind of all over the place.
You know, I think I do
That's
see
most
some
of the
merit to what Irv is saying, though, because like I rematriculated back to college this semester because because I'm out on comp and I can't find a job and they're giving me a hard time. So the way in New York that you placate everybody is you go back to college, whatever.
Like,
But
my
I'm
father
back
is
in
my
school.
state.
Yeah, so I'm back in school and I'm looking at these kids. And I'm 39, so I'm older than them, but I'm looking at them and I'll be damned if none of them look their age. I mean, some of them look like they're still going through puberty. I think there may be a little bit of merit to what Irv is saying. Maybe it's something evolutionary. I don't know. Like these kids are aging slower, like going through growth, like going through growth slow, because they looked like teenagers, even though like some of them were in their early 20s, like they were like lagging behind 5 years physiologically. I don't know. It was kind of creepy, actually.
Well, they
looked
are very intelligent to boot, and most of them love all that GMO artificial nonsense. You're sodomite or sodomite supreme, so
I'm only picking up. I can't hear you. You're down the well, but I'm sure I picked up disdain for GMO. Okay.
And sodomites. I think I heard sodomites a few times.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, of course, obviously. Me sodomite.
You're always going to hear the word sodomites from him.
Or
sodomites. You
Personally,
you can take
sorry, go ahead.
You can take the approach that I did when I graduated from college. I graduated from college with a degree in anthropology and a minor in chemistry, and I was looking at jobs, and the job market wasn't looking too good. So I walked down the street and I enlisted in the Navy, and got picked up for officer candidate school, and spent 5 of the most interesting years of my life being an officer in the Navy.
Wow.
So if you want to do something that will change your point of view and make you do things that are hard and really get with a hard program, I recommend the service. I recommend it, unreservedly. And interesting, the apple doesn't fall too far from the tree, because my son was kind of in the same boat. He graduated from high school and he really was kind of formless and didn't know where he was going. He walked down the street and enlisted in the Marines. He did a couple of combat tours in Iraq, came back, and he just finished up at University of Western Colorado just finished with a math degree.
Nice.
I wasn't allowed to do Marines.
Yeah.
What's that?
I almost went into the military, but
they didn't let you either?
No, remember I have PTSD for something else, so
okay.
That didn't go over too well when they went over all like the health stuff. They're like, well,
yeah, I can see that compounding badly.
Yeah.
I wanted to take a stab.
So well too.
When I tried to enlist, it was actually really heartbreaking for me because my family's military, and I was actually groomed specifically for officers' candidacy school.
Really?
My father specifically wanted me to go to college and do my 2 years in junior college, and then he wanted me to apply for officer candidacy school. My brother,
right?
What, my father?
Yeah, raised you on boats, like.
Well, yeah, that's because not only was he the Navy. Well, not only because he was a fisherman, but the old man was a UDT in Korea. He was on the USS Valley Forge.
Your dad was a UDT in Korea?
Yes, sir. A USS Valley Forge.
Dude.
Yeah.
Holy shit! That's the baddest of the bad. Those were the predecessors of SEALs.
Oh yeah, I heard that many times.
Who did just amazing things, and the old Basic Underwater Demolition School in Coronado, California, that trains the SEAL teams now. And they call them all SEALs, even the ones who do the mission that used to be called underwater demolition teams. But the UDT guys and the SEAL guys train side by side. They both had to graduate from that school, and that is what is called SEAL team training. And then they would cross train in each other's rate. But the UDT guys did some amazing, scary stuff in Korea. Stuff that you hear the tales. I've even heard some of the classified missions when I was an officer, and it will curl your hair what those guys did. Amazing courage.
I'll have to talk to you about this then one day when we're offline. I really don't.
Sure.
Yeah, I'd like to actually pick your brain a little bit because there's a few things I heard about the old man I couldn't get confirmation on. So
here's something that I'll just share with you because I'm very proud of this. My first company commander at OCS was a famous UDT guy named Dave Foreman. You may have heard of him. Your dad sure has.
Yeah. Well,
I served in the Navy with Dave.
Okay.
Not. I wasn't a UDT. I was an officer. I was just a boring ship driver. But he was a great guy. He's an amazing guy. And he told me some stories. I'd be glad to share them with you.
Yeah, definitely. You probably then, are you familiar at all with any recent military history? Then I'm guessing, or different people who partake in it.
Oh yeah. So some of it firsthand.
Okay. No, the reason I'm asking then, my cousin, he's attached now with the Marines, as like a liaison. He's retired, but he was in Nam specifically. He was at Hamburger Hill. He's one of the
shit.
Hill 99, really?
Yeah, I'm gonna tell you his name after we get off air because I don't want him to be bothered because of my nonsense that I get down to on the internet.
Tell me this.
Yeah.
Is he in the movie?
He was. Yeah, that's what I was just gonna say. He was.
Okay.
He was a consultant for the movie. The character in the movie that is in between the people and his two friends' heads get blown off and he gets sprayed with all their shit.
Yeah,
that character is the one that was based on my cousin. So yeah. Now there's another. I'm saying I feel like I don't want to take up too much time, even though like it's on my channel. I got all you guys on here. I want to give everyone free time, but really quick because I'm remembering it now. Now his father was. I'll tell you about him when we're off air. He was OSS. He was for Switzerland during the war. Now the guy, my uncle who was OSS and my cousin who was at Hamburger Hill, his son, he is active. I'll talk to you about him when we're off. His current detail, I believe, is Guantanamo.
Okay.
So now I was specifically supposed to enlist. That was what I was getting groomed for, was to go in officer candidacy school. My father had me earmarked. He wanted me to go in with the Atlantic Fleet. So it was a real blow when I went in because what had happened was, I went to enlist under Clinton. This was in '97. So this is when they changed all the stipulations and ADHD was designated as a mental illness.
Sure.
Yeah. So I wasn't able to get in, and it really, it crushed the family. I'm the only one.
That disqualified because my son was pretty heavily diagnosed with ADHD, and he did get in.
When did he go in?
Mike
what
went
year?
in. Let me think. Just give me just a second here.
Sure.
So it was 2005. 2005.
While you work that out, I'm under the impression that ADHD is actually a fucking asset to a soldier.
Right. Well, when I went in, like I said, I think I might have still been in high school, so it might have been as early as '96. I might have went in like my, what is before you graduate? That's your junior, freshman. Junior year. Yeah. So my junior year, I went into, so that was probably '96. Because at the time I had tried to get into the ROTC program in the high school, but it was literally packed. So I couldn't get in if I tried. There wasn't enough slots. First come, first served, that sort of thing. And, the neighborhood at the time, there was still a lot of military families living here. Everyone went into ROTC.
So you were trying to get into a high school ROTC and then get pipelined into the Navy.
Exactly. Well, Marines. That was what my brother had talked me into. He talked me into going into the Marines.
That's department.
Right. Exactly.
And the Marines all say, "Yeah, the men's department."
Mm-hmm.
That's the joke. Anyway,
I know the joke. That's why I said, I know. I heard them all. My father and brother used to go back and forth. I forget who would call who what, but the terms I used to hear thrown around was shit like seagull and bellhop.
Right.
Yeah.
0311 Mark 1 bullet stopper. You know.
Yeah. Oh man.
My son and I go back and forth quite a bit, and but it always comes out to the men's department. I usually quit on that one. But, anyway, I'm real proud of him actually.
That's really cool.
I don't know. It just came up reminding me of avoiding not getting grand thumb with my friend because we were over his house shooting one time and they had an old.
They got some snappy actions. You gotta be careful.
Yeah.
He's like, okay, this is how you're going to do it. And it's just like, okay, let's do it and not hurt ourselves, hopefully.
Hey, Jacob, I seen you jumped in. Sorry, I didn't get a chance to say hello earlier. We were just talking Navy talk, and I tend to go off at the mouth when that comes up.
I mean, Skeptoc's here, so I kind of imagined that would happen.
Yeah.
I'm sorry about that. I did not mean to hijack this stream.
No, please.
Yeah, that's my job.
Anyone who streams with me knows I come from a Navy family, so the minute the Navy gets brought up, I will derail and I will go immediately off on that subject.
I just had no idea the depth of it, right? Like, I mean, that's insane. Like your family's basically famous.
Yeah. We all are, you know. It's just how it went. My cousin, the last one I want to talk about, just really quick. This is only because it's something I want to address since we brought up the subject, and it's something. Now I'm going to say this. You're all going to laugh because people laugh whenever I say this. It's a natural knee-jerk reaction. So I'm just going to warn all of you. I'm not going to be offended. But I'm just saying this because it's one of those things I want to address, and it's actually something serious. One of the things I've always said is I don't like when we outsource to other companies in this country whenever we're doing aeronautics or anything. I'd rather it be kept in-house. Now, one of the aeronautics programs that we were doing, it was one of our joint programs. This is probably about 20 years ago now. It was when we were working heavily with the NATO alliance. Skeptoc, you'll probably know who my cousin's name is. I'm not going to name him, but you'll know who I'm talking about.
Okay.
My cousin I'm saying this was. My cousin was a pilot, and when he was testing one of the planes, the instruments gave him a false reading, and he was losing control of the plane, and it told him to eject, that he was low over the ground, and he ejected. The problem was the plane told him that it was facing up when it was facing down. So the plane ejected him, and the ejection seat planted my cousin probably about a good 7 yards into the ground. So
your cousin was killed in an ejection accident.
Yeah, but he was the one that was killed when the plane was upside down and ejected him and actually buried him. They had to dig him up just to bury him again.
Oh my God!
Wow.
Yeah. Well, that's what I'm saying. I think there's not too many accidents like that. So anyone listening can now Google it and find out who my cousin is. But you know, we're Catholic. There's literally dozens of us. So good luck finding out who I am. But
that reminds me of my finish.
I was just saying, I wanted to mention that really quick because that's part of the reason I voted for Trump, because he's bringing everything back in-house. And when you outsource, people get killed. That's all.
Yeah, I was going to say, with my grandfather, because he was on a destroyer escort at the age of like fucking 15 for World War II, and then the Korean War after that. I don't know. I guess it runs in the family that we don't look our age. But I remember around the 60s or 70s, they were testing some new type of missile, and he ended up not going on the certain test that he had to go all the way down to Hawaii. Because at this time, they're still living in Brooklyn. And I don't remember what it was, but he ended up not going with them for the whole thing. And the fucking missile that they were testing blew up the entire front end of the ship, and that was the specific part that they were manning in one of the turrets. So the entire ship ended up I don't even think it's sunk, but it ended up being mostly destroyed and was used for target practice within the next 2 years. But I remember that's why he never has any old Navy friends outside of one guy he knows that was on a ship that tended to be with them a lot of the time. Because I remember he doesn't have like, because he always tells you stories that he never says like, oh yeah, his one friend from the Navy caught up with him, which the man's, he makes my father look like a I don't know how to say. The man's just so forceful with everything. He's an interesting one if you ever. He's like he's basically the grandfather at Thanksgiving, and it's like, don't push at him because he will not stop. He's an interesting guy.
Sounds like it.
You'd get along with Scooby. Actually, well, he hates Long Island, so.
So do I. So.
He's very opinionated, and he doesn't.
Well, I don't blame him for hating Long Island. I hate what Long Island turned into.
Man, I had a consulting
there
when I was living in Manhattan, and I had to drive to SUNY in Stony Brook, and
oh God,
back and forth. Oh man, I got to hate the LIL like you cannot believe.
Yeah, the expressway is really fun.
Man.
I try to avoid Stony Brook because that's like the heart of the insanity. That's basically where everything is located that's been happening with all the SJWs and all that shit. It comes actually from Stony Brook. The Social Justice Warrior Manifesto was written by a professor at Stony Brook. So
that doesn't surprise me at all.
I remember, wasn't that the area that overwhelmingly voted Green Party or something?
Oh, yeah.
One area. I remember because there's some like dotted map, and it's like, oh, what's this color? But I remember as a kid, because where I used to live, you can't dox me because it's a long as ass boulevard. I'm not going to say the thing, but there was a huge factory we used to go in as a kid that was abandoned, and oddly enough, isn't abandoned now. It was abandoned the entire time I lived there in New York, but eventually someone, I guess, finally said, hey, this thing's sitting here with just giant tumbles of wires and bullshit. Why don't we use it for something? But because the Highland Boulevard, if you've ever been to Staten Island, it's a fucking mess. We'd go up my street because I was maybe a block from the ocean, and there's a bird reserve alongside the Highland Boulevard, which is actually where the mob used to dump bodies. And when you'd go past that, there's a bunch of rich houses on the beachfront, which is where the mobsters live now. Speaking of. And then there'd be the ocean. So I remember always trying to cross Highland Boulevard, and Jesus Christ. My grandmother, the one that died in like 2007, not the one that's still alive, that I always talk about, that's really tiny. Like she weighs like 80-something pounds. She was a crossing guard for the Highland Boulevard in her youth. That's what she did for a living. I'm like, Jesus Christ. I could never do that daily. Like, just going to the beach, which now doesn't exist because it all eroded away, of course. There's just like the concrete barrier where the road ends, and then there's maybe 5 feet of beach at most.
The sea level rise or something and sweep everything away?
No, it's like actually eroded that you can see the beach slightly over, but like the actual...
There's actually a
guys. Hey, I really hate to break up the conversation about New York and everything, but Scoob, you should probably take a look at your stream.
Okay, yeah, no, I'm not sure how much of it was my fault. Also, there's a couple of people in your chat that are claiming Tara is somebody else, and I don't know if they're flat earthers or anti-flat earthers and think Tara's a flat earther. I don't know what happened.
I think it's because they think I have the gas mask because I went and looked up this Rose Patton.
Oh my God! Yeah, so now you're 9 and 8 for your votes, bro.
All right. What the hell did you do, Tara?
I didn't do a fucking thing. I seriously didn't.
All right, I'm not mad. I don't care.
No, I just,
what they don't understand. I was Rose Patton, and I'm like, no, that's not me. And they're like, yes, you are. You're Rose Patton. And I'm like, no. And they're like, oh, Tara sends Rose Patton. Go and check out her channel. And I'm like, oh my fucking God, knock it off. That's not me.
And here's the thing. I don't know if these idiots realize that downvotes count as interactions, which actually promotes your stream.
Yeah.
So, thanks for that. That's why I started fucking trolling as soon as it hit 2. I was like, feed us the downvotes.
That's fine by me. Like I said, I don't care. At this point, I was mad like 2-3 weeks ago because I didn't know that. I thought that like affected the stream. That's why I got like hot last time it happened. Now that I know it's good, let them download it. I don't give a fuck.
No,
but actually, I'm glad that Foster that you did interrupt because this gives us a good chance. Six has to bounce out of here in a few minutes because he's got something else cooking. But Six was going to read that article for you. So, Six, you want to read that for us?
Sure. Kim Jong-un made a revealing out-of-character admission when discussing North Korea. Let's see. Northern Korean leader Kim Jong-un made a rare revealing admission when discussing the state of the country with South Korean President Moon Jae-in. He's embarrassed by his country's infrastructure. As Kim and Moon held a historic summit on Friday, the South Korean president told North Korea's supreme leader he'd like to visit his country in order to climb Mount Picketu. I guess that's I don't know the pronunciation of that. A mountain that plays a significant role in Korean folklore. Kim then said, "I feel embarrassed about the poor transit infrastructure." This was an out-of-character moment for Kim, as North Korean leaders have long been well known for boasting about their country and themselves in an exaggerated fashion. Relatedly, in December 2017, North Korean state media reported Kim had climbed Mount Picketu and seemed to suggest he has the power to control nature given the good weather at the time. Images of the alleged climb also show Kim in dress shoes and slacks with no mountaineering equipment. North Korea is notoriously impoverished. When a North Korean soldier defected to South Korea last year, doctors removed an 11-inch parasitic worm from his stomach and also discovered he had consumed corn kernels, offering a glimpse into how difficult life can be in North Korea. Correspondingly, Chinese tourists have been known to visit the reclusive country almost slowly to see how poor North Koreans truly are. At Friday's summit, Kim and Moon made a joint announcement the Korean Peninsula would be completely rid of nuclear weapons, and also pledged to work towards formally ending the Korean War, which has technically been ongoing since fighting ceased via an armistice in 1953. Later in the day, as President Donald Trump met with German Chancellor Angela Merkel in Washington, D.C., Trump sounded cautiously optimistic about his impending meet with Kim, but he said the U.S. would continue its campaign of maximum pressure until the Korean Peninsula is completely denuclearized.
I'm just gonna put your little facts in the side.
You guys discuss this amongst yourself. I gotta jump out here. I just want to do a quick shill. I'm of course the Next 6 Minutes. You can find me on the Next 6 Minutes YouTube channel. You must spell out the word 6 because if you don't, then you won't. Let's see. I'm also on the Next Live Streams channel. Let's see. As far as projects I have cooking up, I have an interview with Tara Sin tomorrow at 5 p.m. Eastern on the CHAOS120 Group's channel. Let me post that in the thingamadoo. There we go.
It's everyone sub to that because the faster that gets up to, 100 subs, the sooner they can actually live stream on that channel.
Also, people pay attention to Six. He's a really interesting guy. He's one of the more interesting people I've met on the internet, truly.
Thank you.
Amazing dude.
Yep. And I also have a tea time stream
on a channel immediately.
What's that?
I was saying you can live stream on a channel immediately.
Really?
Well, they make you wait 24 hours. They make you wait 24 hours. That's what happened today when I was getting ready to.
Sorry.
Yeah, I was getting ready to do the interview stream with Tara, but they told me I had to wait 24 hours to make sure I'm not a robot. So whatever. Anyhow, I have a tea time stream coming up on Sunday afternoon at 4 p.m. Eastern. Tomorrow, I guess on Weibo stream, I will announce what the topic will be. Otherwise, I'll just whoever the hell is on, I'll ask if you want to live stream and so on and so forth. We'll kind of like pick a topic out of the hat or something. and talk about it. It's going to be fairly disorganized as far as that goes. Anyhow, that's what I've got going. I have another original content video that I'm working on right now. It should be released early next week. So that's what I have going on. Thank you, chat, for being so awesome. And certainly, it's great hanging out with all you guys tonight. I look forward to listening to the rest of this live stream a little later. Holy shit! Reading fan fiction took a lot out of me.
As it would anybody.
You had to drop a few IQ points there.
I have to get those IQ points back in the next couple of days. We'll see how that happens. Anyhow, it was great hanging out with you guys, and y'all take care. And Burnside, I hope you find pirate treasure down in the well wherever you are.
6, man.
Yar, matey.
6. Break a leg, man.
All righty.
Take care, buddy.
Take it easy, guys.
Yep,
Later.
Take care. But since what that article was covering,
someone else.
Let me see.
Burnside.
Oh, Burnside.
But he'll be back in 2 seconds. He hops in and out. That's just what happens with him. But yeah, what that article was covering, though, that was basically the meat of the stream. What do you guys think about all this? I mean, no more Korean War.
I don't know if it's no more Korean War. I mean, I've seen the same thing go on for every 10 or 12 years for 30, 40 years. You know what I mean?
But they've never met before. The two leaders have never met and shook hands.
I think they have met and shook hands, but
in the DMZ probably just over the phone.
Jong-un regime or the Kim regime has never set foot in South Korea. Right, and that's something like 50 or 60 years in the making, and that's a big deal. It is a big. I'm not saying it's not a big deal. I'm saying, well, they've done it before. Now, Jong-un is not Jong-il. They're different people, right? So maybe he is more open to it. I don't know, but you have to wait and see what's going to develop, because maybe nothing develops from this. If something develops from it, great. This is obviously the launch pad for it. But I, again, don't know enough about foreign policy except to look back and go, well, they sort of did seem to get along for certain moments in history, and nothing came of that. So give it time. I'm not saying don't, but, don't count the chickens before they're hatched, right?
I'm not. I'm being very optimistic at all this.
I'm
really hoping. Yeah, I'm hoping because
I'm hoping this does work out, because the one thing I'd like to do is I'd like to do what the Chinese people do to North Korea and go there and laugh at them. Because I find
hold on. They open themselves up to capitalism.
What's this? Food? Wait, we have rights? Oh shit!
Actual medicine that works.
Yeah, no, they won't know what to do with themselves.
So
we can introduce them to cookie dough.
Oh God!
Just stop.
That's a real nice thing, but I don't think it fixes countries.
Hey, Scooby and everybody, I've got to cut in here and just say real quickly, I'm going to be on Minions tonight, which means I have to bounce right now so I can grab a protein bar.
Is this the sixth? Is this the sixth night in a row you've done this?
Something like that. Yeah, something
Jesus
like
Christ,
that.
dude.
Yeah. Anyway, it's fun.
That's some kind of stream.
But we have pretty good time over there, and if you guys get bored after the stream is over, we would love to have you come and join us over there. I am Skeptalk. I am most active on Twitter. Don't really have a YouTube presence yet, but that might happen too. So anyway, I'm at Skeptic Alpha, ALFA, no spaces, on Twitter. And thank you so much for inviting me over here. And I hope I didn't talk too much. I had a great time. You guys are great. I really enjoyed it.
You want a proper assessment?
Sure.
You didn't talk too much, not nearly. But when you opened your mouth, I fucking loved it. So thanks for that.
Well, sure.
Well, he has that effect on people.
Fine with everyone else, man.
Unbelievable.
Thanks
This
a
was
lot.
very enjoyable. It was actually, this has been the highlight of the stream tonight. I was talking with you. I've wanted to talk to you for a while, and this is a pleasant surprise. I wasn't even aware that you were a Navy man, so this is a very pleasant surprise.
Well, thank you very much. I felt very welcome here, and anytime at all you want me on, hit me up. I would love to come back on.
Not a problem, brother. I appreciate having you. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much.
Canadian,
You
and
guys have
thank
a
you for
great
your
night.
service.
Enjoy your night, man.
All right, see you later, guys. Bye-bye.
Yeah.
Bye-bye.
Enjoy your night, man.
Also, somehow it's already 20 after 11 here. I swear it was 10:30 a second ago.
Yeah, it's.
Yeah, time flies when you're having fun.
I know people. Go ahead. Sorry.
I was gonna say I'm gonna hop out too, but before I do leave, Scooby, I don't know if Six told you this, but I told him to tell you next time you invite me on stream, at least give me a little heads up before you send me the invite.
Oh, yeah, sorry, bro. I literally got through the door like 10 minutes before the stream had to start, and I just sent out the link. So I was coming on just as like unprepared as you. So yeah, definitely. I try to usually send everyone the link at least an hour before to a half hour. I try to give everybody some, some heads up time. So sorry about that.
It's cool.
And Jacob, they don't call it chaos for no reason.
Yeah, I kind of got that impression.
Yeah.
Yep. Like I can barely start on time on Mondays because shit just keeps happening. I have to run into a train. I got to pick somebody up from work. I got to go to the grocery store, and some asshole decides he wants to try and rob somebody, and I have to go put him in a body bag. Or I get oh wait, is this
just everyday fun activities?
No, accurately, 10 to 12% of Burnside's time is spent not getting shot.
Yeah.
I went to Brazil to get shot. I prefer not to have it in America.
Oh, Brazil.
I only get stabbed in America. I don't get shot in America.
Burnside listened to me
I've had
driving
both
and
happen.
yelling at drivers in front of me this morning, and I was like, let me guess, it's not a good idea to let me drive in Chicago, is it? He goes, no, it's not.
Yeah.
All right, I'll talk to you guys later.
Drove in Beijing.
Yeah,
that was
be
just
good, brother.
Suffering. See you, man. Enjoy your night.
Yeah. Now that my audio doesn't suck though, there was this brainstorming idea Tara and Bartender came up with last night when we were all sitting around bullshitting. Now, since Tara's going to more as Harley, and the Perry bastard talked me into going there as Joker, that's the idea of characters anyways.
Ron pie, honey.
Why don't we just take a fucking jab at the SJWs fucking with our comics? And see if anyone else who wants to come decides if they want to go as a particular hero and or villain.
I'll go as goddamn Starfire.
Because we're all wizards.
Well, Bartender asked why, DC, why not go with Marvel because they're more popularized. I told him, I said, because DC's been around at least 30 years longer.
And
they have more likable characters in many, many ways.
They have their ups and downs. Right?
Yeah.
I'm not dressing like either Captain America or Superman or Batman. I'm not dressing like any of them.
You're dressing like Falcone.
That would work.
I'm not wearing a three-piece suit. What the hell?
Why the hell not, dude? Oh my god.
Dude, oh man, you'd be so fucking hot.
She's not wrong, buddy.
Oh god.
I don't even have shit to fucking cosplay anymore. A lot of that stuff got hurt.
Think of it as this way, Scoop. Bring two alternative costumes. Bring what you normally wear when you're on camera, because that looks fucking badass. And if the weather's cold, and if it's not balls fucking sweaty like it was last time, give the suit a go, just for the sheer fuck of it.
Well, I already told you what I got planned that I'm going to be wearing.
My fucking blue man suit. I don't remember where that is.
Oh, and
I'd have left it in the robotics room back in high school.
Cass, I was looking up DC anti-heroes, and there's a Catman, so you're good.
Oh yeah, there is a Catman.
God damn it, no fucks though. This opportunity.
No, yeah, jeez. Oh no,
there's
that's not
the
right.
Bronze Tiger.
There's a what?
The Bronze Tiger.
What is that? Is that like Spider-Man's retarded cousin?
Oh,
no, Bronze Tiger. He and Batman trained under the same sensei.
Oh wow. Okay.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
That makes.
Yeah, this is the costume Burnside was talking about. This thing.
American cookie dough.
American cookie. Jesus.
I just
yeah.
I'm sorry I brought it up again.
I assume there's an innuendo there.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, of course there is.
Yes. Cass, you were
Sarah,
here a few
of course
weeks ago.
there is.
There is.
It was like right after the story, I think.
That fucking.
But I wanted to say about Skeptalk and even Jacob, who's been on the stream before. I remember what it's like to be new to the group of people, and you know, there seems to be, even though it's chaotic, there is a sort of flow, and sometimes it's a little difficult at first to find your spot to jump in, and sometimes you just don't want to, like you don't want to interrupt, because you know most people that Scooby finds are good people, right? So they don't want to be rude, but when they do get their moment, my God, they fucking kill it. And these guys, they're good dudes, they're great dudes, and I'm happy they found at least a moment or two to jump in there, felt comfortable enough, because I hijack streams all the time.
That's my job.
Like right now, I'm just picking.
That's my job when I show up to give us a history lesson or.
Hey Scooby, I got something to show you.
Totally worth it.
That's good.
Here you go. Here you go, sweetie.
Oh God.
I love you. So are you peanut butter or the chocolate chip?
Oh God.
I feel like I see a face of terror in the upper left. We zoom in on that one.
Yeah. I'm glad you're getting such a kick out of this.
Yes, I am.
Take a closer look at his eyes.
You know, it's funny that you mentioned my eyes.
I'm gonna do things to your bunghole that would terrorize you for life. Watch out, little Billy, I'm coming for you.
I've been filming videos in this place. I've been calling it the bunker that I found. It's a good locale to film from, and I didn't realize till today when I looked closely. There's a yellow sodium light in this place, and it makes my eyes yellow.
Nice.
Yeah, I didn't realize it until I was looking at the video today. I'm like, why are my eyes yellow? And
yeah,
it's
like
because
a
of the
little
sodium
shine,
light.
if I remember.
It's a HPS light. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like a street lamp. Yeah.
Yeah. Looks kind
I
of
need
sick.
some sodium lights for my bar because fucking fluorescents always die in the winter because they're fluorescents and they're a pain in the ass.
Oh, and Burnside, I think bartender is more of a John Constantine.
He wishes.
He doesn't drink enough to be John Constantine. He's too much of a Protestant. Personality, yes. Habits, no.
I'm not worried about habits. It's personality.
Probably just coming to surgical mask or some bullshit like that. I'm not.
Tech, we need you to be Lex Luthor.
Okay.
Yeah, I could not. The only things I have that I could cosplay with us would either be me in a SWAT outfit or a forested SWAT outfit, which is basically, hey, here's army surplus. We got to go take care of some guy in the middle of the forest with a gun who wants to kill himself but hasn't killed himself yet. And he's batshit insane in a treehouse.
Well, if you do that, you'll blend right in with security. That might not be a bad idea.
Trust me, it doesn't go
Not
too
gonna
well.
lie.
I was at I'm trying to think what I was cosplaying. It might have been something. I remember I got kicked out of a venue once because they're like, you look a little too off there. Trying to think what I was. It might have been a stalker cosplay, except it wasn't with a bunch of Ukrainians who knew what the hell I was talking about. It was with a bunch of fucking Comic-Con people. So I just show up like this, and it's like,
Bunch of sodomites. Yeah, they're like, you look career. We were at your Jurassic Quadrant transmission brony lord.
Nobody got the joke when I threw my bolts with string on them at people. Like, are you an anomaly? Oh God, I remember I did that to some other guy that was in a getup, or one of my friends actually knew what the fuck I was talking about. Yeah, I don't have like any of my old cosplay outfits. I still have the huge ass duffel bag from when I cosplayed Wolfgang Grimmer and dyed my hair. See, if there's a tall character, I can play them because, like I said, I'm 6'3". So I just had this huge ass duffel bag and filled it with a bunch of fucking books, and it was heavy as shit.
Well,
this
are
was
you
when I
willing
was
to
like,
shave your head?
I've shaved my head because I, like, the last time I was on stream, you saw how short my hair was. That's because my father with the fucking map gas burned a chunk of my hair off. So, honestly, shaving my head isn't out of the question. I'm not doing eyebrows. I never shave my eyebrows voluntarily.
No, Lex Luthor doesn't shave his eyebrows. We need somebody that's willing to shave their head to play Lex Luthor and go to more.
I probably could.
Unless you want to go as Batman, and I'll go as Superman because I'm the right height for Superman. I got the right eye color and hair color too.
Yep.
A nice black outfit and more. that'll go well with the heat in DC if DC's as I remember. Well, I've only been to DC in when it's starting to not be hot as shit, and then when it's cold as hell out and nobody's dicking around on the street that's not there for a reason. Also, like I posted in the chat, I'm like, I'm still suffering from 4 weeks ago.
Yeah.
I keep getting ads for the Radisson at Lord Baltimore, which is a pretty nice hotel. But I keep getting ads because I looked it up for you guys for stream for more. It's like, oh yeah, you guys should try here maybe. It's somewhat close to the mall. It's right next to Chinatown, which was probably one of my favorite parts of DC. And it's not so much near shitty parts of town, but it's also DC, so everywhere's not particularly very nice at points.
We got the one that we stayed at last time was like 2 blocks from the National Mall. That's the reason that we stayed there. Still a long ass walk.
Fucking mask. What are you talking about, boy? Sorry, my roommate's like, you're on the screen. I'm like, do I look like I'm wearing a mask?
Well, I wasn't saying that what was on the screen is you. I was just pointing out what was on the screen.
Okay. Okay, I was confused. Like, wait, I'm not wearing a mask, am I?
Yeah, I do. That would be me. I am the masked man.
I'll probably just wear a surgical mask and
the American cookie dough.
Because it'll be hot as hell in the heat. I'll probably find some baseball cap or some bullshit to put on me, which I haven't worn baseball cap since I was like fucking 7 or something. I need to get my get up. I'm not wearing a balaclava. That sounds like a fucking awful idea. Like my
I'm not going to be wearing the
comfy,
hoodie. I'm not going to be wearing this hoodie, obviously, in DC. I'll probably just have on a T-shirt, but I'm going to be wearing this and this.
Oh my god.
Oh, I'm just going to look like I'm not even going to... I'm just going to be the random guy that's there probably filming things half the fucking time.
This is Tara's favorite hat.
Yes, it's going to be my new ashtray.
Mm-hmm.
Speaking of things I haven't worn since I was like 7, that's another type of hat I haven't had since I was a kid.
What, a bucket lid?
Yeah, it was an old camo one from back in the day.
Well,
oh, gee, I wear a fedora.
usually wear these.
I could get my neck beard going and wear a fucking fedora.
I usually wear these in the summer and the spring, but I keep this one handy because of how much Tara loves it.
I don't wear hats normally. I always have headphones on. That's the problem.
I'm serious. When we get done with more, it's going to have cigarette holes in it.
I don't know how you could still hate the man. He just saved civilization, and he's going to be getting the Nobel Peace Prize, and yet you still hate him. That's New York hate.
Like that.
That's that New York hate right there. That's that hate for New Yorkers.
I was gonna say you can make a spaghetti.
I love you. I don't like him. I'm sorry. I don't like orange potatoes. They scare me, especially when they can, when they actually have enough intelligence to try and put words together.
I thought it was a Cheeto.
No, he's an orange potato. I've always called him an orange potato. Other people I know call him a Cheeto.
I've had purple potatoes before.
Oh.
I was about to say then you could use your hat as a strainer or something, but your mask could do that anyway.
Yeah.
I was gonna say, hey, you got your new spaghetti strainer, but just turn your mask over.
Well, the hat isn't just so much about Trump. I actually believe in the sentiment. It's more that for me than anything else. I'm not like some sort of sycophant that's in love with the president. I like his message. You know, that's the whole thing. Like, I go to school and like there's no one in the class because these kids are out in the quad with their fucking placards running around screaming about how we got to take away guns and we got to save the ozone layer and you know, the polar bears, no one's feeding them and whatever the fuck they're screaming about out there. Why aren't they in school? You know, that's the thing. So it's not so much about Trump. It's more about I go to the school and I see these screwball kids acting like lunatics. I go over to DSS. I see healthy people sitting there like this, hands up with their feet up on the thing. Why the fuck aren't you working? So the thing to me is, I'm for, you know, I believe make America great again. To me, that just means get rid of the fucking deadbeats, give them jobs. You know, get up off your ass, go get a job if you can. If you can't, I'm not cruel. Look, I'm a cripple. Give me a fucking desk job. You can tell I'm smart. That's the whole thing. So my thing is this. I'm sick of this socialized horseshit that they're doing where they want to give everybody a check. You know what? Fuck it. I'd rather sweat for my money and actually make money than sit there comfortably and get a check for a little bit less. No, I'm not. That's how I am, and that's part of the reason I voted for this man is because that's the ideal that I believe in. It's an American ideal. It's you provide for yourself. You make for yourself. No one has to provide for you. What the fuck? I don't want that. That's some sick shit.
Yeah, I second that, man. If you want to eat, you gotta work. And aside from that, I just seen it as he was the most logical choice.
Yeah.
Bernie Sanders was a communist, in my opinion.
Guys, Venezuela is a good example of socialism.
My point exactly.
Dirty Bernie.
Yeah, my point exactly. And Hillary was an absolute
couldn't fucking brand herself.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. What was the campaign?
I want war against Russia. I want to
Pokemon Go to the polls? No.
Yeah, that too.
What was it? Oh god, I just remembered the one horrible song. Oh.
Yeah, point being.
Oh, my heart.
All these people that are running around shouting, you know, we hate Trump, we want this, we want that, we want to go have sex with wiffle ball bats and whatever. These people are a bunch of pros and pawns. Because where were they when The Apprentice was on television? Sitting there violently masturbating. Where they when Oprah Winfrey was going and talking about campaigning and shit like that with Trump? Violently masturbating. Where were they when the rest of them to do nothing? Or trying to do somethings? Or going around shaking hands with Trump, giving him awards for actually giving a shit about black neighborhoods. Violently masturbating. You know, but now the television says you will talk shit about Trump, you will hate him, you will aggressively, violently masturbate and cause riots and have sex with garbage cans on fire. Then that's exactly what they did, because they don't have any minds of their own.
I didn't do any of that.
Thank God, because you have a mind of your own. I mean, you might violently masturbate, but compared to these guys, can't hold a candle to that, man. You has brains. These guys, none to be had.
A lot of people just look at. They just look at one color.
Yeah, they're like sitting there in their parents' basements and shit, fucking screaming at 4chan and shit, and they just want everything to just be given to them because mommy and daddy couldn't take good care of them by giving them the ass whooping they needed to make decent people out of them, and decided, all right, let me throw money at this problem. Let me throw money at this problem. Let me throw money at this problem just because I'm a semi-aristocratic sodomite. You know? These people that didn't take good care of their kids, didn't discipline them, didn't educate them properly, have just thrown them to the government. The government went, ooh, we've got an army of useful idiots. What are we going to do? Make the biggest idiots we can out of them. And that's what shit going on nowadays.
When I was a kid, I had to be up every morning with sunrise for revelry because we had to hoist the flag up on the pole in front of the house. I had to be home every day at sunset for taps so we could take the flag down and we could do the 12 folds. You know, it's little things like that. These kids. Well, I told you. I told that to the woman that I went to the college for. My right hand to God. She says to me, "Oh, we have counseling for that." They have counseling for people who were raised in a military family. Yeah, you heard me right, Irv. They have counseling for people who were raised in a military family.
For people who are raised to respect their nation.
Yeah,
there's counseling for that. What the?
We gotta decolonialize your mind, guys. Gotta get off that colonialism.
Yeah.
You're driving me to drink, Scoob.
Sorry. I'm gonna try to sneak in with a.
God,
I'm gonna sneak in with a camera. I'm gonna take pictures of the shit that they have in these classrooms. It's amazing. Like they have this one quote. I'm reading it, and it's about American nationalism. And I kept my mouth shut because I don't want to get into an argument with this professor. Because really, if I fuck around too much at this college, that could actually really affect me. Because unfortunately, New York holds academics in the highest regard. So I really have to walk on eggshells with these fucking commies because they can really fuck me over royally. So,
Don't doubt you there. I know it's like in California.
Yeah, you're really at their mercy here. That's the whole thing. That's part of the reason I keep trying. And every time I do one of these streams, I keep telling people, look, I need to get equipment together because. If like that girl who was up around your neck of the woods, Irv, that girl, I forget her name. She was in there with the sick animals and
Wilfrid Laurier, right?
I think so. She taped when they were telling her, well, we're gonna do this, we're gonna do that. Bro, if I could get a camera, holy shit, you got to hear the things that these people say in their classrooms. Like I showed you that the handout that the professor had up on the. Yeah, I still got it here. Look at this. This is what the professor puts up on the door.
Hey.
One faculty, one resistance. The fucking teachers. The teachers are Antifa. That's beautiful.
Fucking figures.
Jesus, that's so fucking delusional.
Yeah. Well, I told you, these are the same people who actually wrote the SJW manifesto. These are the same teachers. You got to see how they sweat when I walk around campus, because aside from the mask, I'm wearing the Stars and Stripe bandana all day on campus. And it's around here somewhere. I got my fucking flag on my cane. And I got the school bag I walk around with. You should have seen. I'm sitting there, I'm talking to the head of the philosophy department, and she was being really annoying. So, her name's Professor Dubois. And so, yeah. Fucking. So, I'm sitting there and I'm talking to her, and the conversation wasn't going my way. And I said, you know what? Yeah, Professor, I got to take off. I'll see you later. So I go to throw my shit in the bag onto. I throw it up on the desk to zip it like this, and all you see is this badge. And she looks at it like this.
Can we have a little chat?
Scoob, I've got a fantastic idea.
Yo.
You wear that mask to class, and if anybody questions it, you just say you sexually identify as American Jason.
Yeah!
Just walk it. Yeah.
I'm actually planning on doing that when I film in Manhattan. I'm gonna have to try to figure out what type of gender I'm gonna have to tell them I am, because then I might be able to get away with wearing this thing.
Tell them you're amorphous.
Yeah.
You identify as the American spirit.
And I walk around with this all day on campus, attached on my cane. Holy shit! You should see. I'm waiting. I'm gonna see now that the spring it's finally spring in New York because it's been frozen solid up here. I'm dying to see if these little motherfuckers are going to try to take my cane away from me till I try to burn the flag. Because I'm not going to lie. Look, I have no qualms with it. I'll knock the shit out of one of these kids. I will not. I got no. I got no problem sitting. I'm not with the cane. Fuck, I'll take off my shoe and I'll beat him with it. The thing is,
that's old school,
Hey,
buddy. That
take
goes
your
way
belt off
back.
and come with it, man. Give them the discipline their fathers should have.
Well, I am from the school of thought. I'd rather be judged by 12 than carried by 6. So I told all these kids this when I'm sitting in the class, because they're like, "Oh, what's with the flag?" I said, "Oh, this is in case any of you little motherfuckers decide you want to take it away and burn it." Got no problem with that. I don't like these people. I really don't. Bunch of sick weirdos walking around with those shirts with the fucking fist in the air. Fucking
Yeah, like communism's such a great alternative. Day before, I got into a 5-minute debate with some idiot about how fucking terrible communism was, and I was like, dude, think of it this way. There's only like 3 countries in the world that are under a communist regime.
But it's a conspiracy.
Yeah. There's China, which is...
Well...
yeah, it's not really communist.
Nowadays.
You know what's funny?
It was a good arguing point, though, because this guy was pretty dumb.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah, so it's like, all right. Because I tried to use China to throw a bone at him to gauge his intelligence, because just like how you guys picked it up, some of them will actually pick it up and go, well, the market technically, and they go, so you're one of the smarter ones. All right, please continue. No, this guy completely skipped that completely. I told him that, I told him Vietnam, and I told him North Korea. And then he went, well, are there any others? Are there any others? Huh, tough guy? And I just sat there for a few minutes, and I was like, does Venezuela count? And then three minutes later, the dude leaves the game. I didn't even have to, like, shoot him.
I'm looking at the chat here. Irv, you're talking here with Malevolent Rider and Drum Tech Marine about nitrogen and soil.
We're talking about all kinds of things.
No. The reason I'm looking at it, you want to do a collab video with me probably sometime this week if you get time, about soil? Because I'm guessing we could probably talk, because I'm sure you got your own guinea garden, don't you?
Yeah. You know, I mean, I grew up with one, obviously.
Yeah. Irv? Damn, we lost him. He was just about to reveal the secret of Italian gardening.
Oh, no, they got him.
Probably hop back in.
There he is.
My bad.
Oh, good. Yeah. Good, he's back.
Yeah, no, yeah, for sure. Like, I mean, it's a cultural thing, right? I mean, it's multiple cultures. It just depends what's in your garden determines your culture, right?
Yeah.
And it's like, for you and I bet yours is like 65+% tomatoes, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Of course.
Mostly tomatoes, cucumbers, zucchinis, some eggplants. You know, it depends also what part of the season we're talking about. Like this time of year, I'm going to plant all my tomatoes. I'll plant all the nightshades now. But once we get towards, like August, that's when, like maybe even earlier, like end of July, that's when I'll start planting my squash.
Yeah.
You rotate.
Very fast.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, well, that's what I'm saying, because I was reading this and I was thinking to myself,
Well, we're talking about something specific, right? On the other hand, if you can grow tomatoes, you can do this specific thing that we're talking about, right? You know how to take care of them. They're very similar. You look at the stalks, they're surprisingly close.
Yeah, I know. Irv, I've been playing Dr. Green Thumb now since probably about 1992. So
nice. Jeez, yeah. So you got way more experience than I do.
Oh yeah. Are you familiar with I believe was it Ed Rosenthal? He did the Big Book of Buds and Big Book of Buds 2.
No, my man is Jorge Cervantes. The Grower's Bible.
No, I'm talking about the Big Book of Buds.
Oh yeah, no. I'm not familiar with that one, but this was
Hold on, I got it on the shelf. Let me show you. Hold on, I got it on the shelf. Here it is. Right here. Beautiful. I love it when it's right on hand. Yeah, this one, if you get the chance, pick this one up, because if you're going to garden, you really got to take it to the next level. Big Book of Buds.
Yeah, that's
right. Ed Rosenthal. He was the editor of High Times.
Okay.
Oh my God! I can't believe I still have it in here. This is the slip when I worked at the pizzeria about 12 years ago, before I got injured. Oh my God! It's even. I have it stopped on the exact strain I was growing at the time. That's great. And I have the list. I can't believe it.
Wait, what?
I have my soil mixture list.
Nice.
That's awesome.
Shit. Yeah.
Oh, sweet.
And
Dude.
all I saw was the word lime, and it's like, yeah, you know what you're doing.
Well, not the whole fruit, not the whole fruit, just the skin. Just the skin.
Oh no! I'm talking about the mineral, the rock.
Oh no, this is
okay.
I'm talking about the compost.
About a compost mix. Okay, yeah.
Compost mix, yes. Oh yes. Yeah. Yeah, we can do this. We'll do this another time, because we definitely, you and I have to do a stream on this.
Yeah, let's do it.
Oh yeah.
Because you're talking about High Times, right? And that's the editor, Ed Rosenthal.
Yeah.
Jorge Cervantes was a contributor for a long time, and he was actually like a world traveler and guerrilla grower.
Mm-hmm.
Right, and he collected a bunch of information, wrote thousands of articles over the years, and then finally put it all into a book called The Grower's Bible. And so he's got it. Yeah, my copy, I don't have mine with me. It's with a friend of mine, because people in my neighborhood, if they know who I am and we share this passion, they call me the doctor now. So they got a problem, they call me up and they're like, we need a visit. And I go and I fix their problems and make sure they're doing everything. And I start them basic, very, very basic. And every season we do one more thing. I have photos. My buddy, I might have shown these before.
You have.
4 seasons in, my buddy has plants that are standing 8 and 9 feet tall outdoors. Right, in 11-gallon buckets. Right, so they're not even free ranging in the yard. You've got a limited root space, and we get them up. I've even got them into now the, what do you call that? What's the word for it when you cut everything off?
Pruning?
Yes, the pruning. That he's not even afraid to just go at the right moment in the season and just chop the shit out of it with a razor blade, and you get basically 2-3 big flowers at the top of your plants, and they're long as your forearm, just gigantic tops, and you get a fuck ton out of these plants.
Oh yeah. There was one year, what had happened was I had just I got the really expensive soil, the really expensive plant food. I did it up like soup to nuts. I really went crazy with the soil mixture, and I put all my seeds in, and I stuck all plant food sticks in, and I put in one of the release feeders. I put everything in, and luck was with me when I did this, because we had that one summer record-breaking rain where it rained the entire summer. And I was working at the beach, and I was delivering pizza and working with my father. So I had zero time to fucking check these plants.
And for anyone listening, you need about 15 minutes a day per plant. That should be enough.
Right. So these plants were not trimmed, so they just grew straight up. But this is the thing. I planted them in a garbage pail, so they had room to grow.
Yeah.
I'm coming home, and I see a bunch of teenagers I see a bunch of teenagers standing out in front of the house, and they're looking at my house. I'm like, what the fuck are these little assholes doing? So I roll up on them. I'm like, the fuck are you kids looking at? Like, yo, man, check it out. So I'm like, what? I look, and I'm like, holy shit. The plants, the tallest one, now, mind you, these are the tops, and like I said, they weren't trimmed. these plants were between 16 and 18 feet in height
because
they hadn't been trimmed an entire season.
And sativas
the fucking things were hanging out over into the front yard, so the kids were walking past, looking, seeing these plants, like, holy shit!
Yeah, and sativas want to grow that big. They give them the yard, they'll grow 20 feet tall. Right.
That's the point I wanted to show you, Irv. You'll know what I'm talking about now. Have you ever heard of Americano?
No.
Oh, you'd love this. I'm trying to find it where it is in this book. Americano is a strain that they came up with up in Canada, specifically for Americans. It's for Americans who are looking to grow tons of pot, like by the garbage can full. So this strain was Americano, what I had. I got 7 garbage bags worth of pot.
Damn.
Wet?
I did not. What?
Wet?
No, dry. 7 garbage bags worth of dry pot. I was so fucking terrified. I thought I was going to get locked up.
No shit. Yeah, especially New York, right? Like that's.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you know what I did? Well, I did not spend my paycheck that summer. I did not spend any money until I think January of the next year, or even later on into the year. What I did was I bought it.
Got rid of it. Yeah.
I got rid of it. Like, yo, Scoob, we're gonna go to the movies. I'm like, all right, yo, I'll roll the blunts. Who's got my tickets and my popcorn and soda? Yo, I got you, man. Like, okay. Yo, Scoob, we're gonna go to the museum. Okay, who's got me? That's basically so. I didn't come out of pocket at all. It was great, you know. I'm like, yo, can you fix my car for me? Yeah, all right, Scoob. Can you give me like $200? You know, like, all right. Fuck, you want a couple ounces? Oh yeah, okay, cool, we're good. You know, so I was doing shit like that.
That's not.
And this was all in excess of 7 years ago, or whatever your statute of limitations is, right? It's in excess of your statute of limitations. Just say yes, it was.
Yes, it was. This was in the 90s. This was in the 90s. Clinton was president. Clinton was president.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
Because I used to do I started with my own grow with a single plant, right, and indoor and shit, and just had the right lights and went with Miracle Grow and nothing else. And the experience I had from fucking 4 years old in my dad's garden. I know how to take care of a plant, right? It's not that much different, except you can get really, really specific. And things have gotten so advanced now that there's a number of companies that put out nutrients specifically geared towards cannabis. Right. Oh, yeah. And one of the things that I find is that the seed itself is like a chicken egg. Everything it needs exists inside the seed, and basically what you need is clean black topsoil to start until that plant actually starts to show you the 5-pointed or 7-pointed leaves, depending on your strain. And then you can start actually feeding it. But for the first 3 to 6 weeks, it usually needs nothing but water, right? And clean black topsoil. Yeah.
You know where most of your black topsoil comes from?
Where's that?
Right here.
In New York?
Long Island is famous for its topsoil.
I believe it.
That's actually one of our our gross domestic products is topsoil. It's one of the things we send out. Yeah. It's because we have the best soil for growing potatoes, turnips, and cabbage. It's just this rich, black, earthen soil. Now, that's the thing is you got to know which parts of the island to go to, but you'll go past it, and at this point now there's nothing left. They've strip mined the fuck out of it. But, for years we were known for our topsoil. And the really good topsoil, when you go and you buy like a 10-pound bag and it's like $10, like you're paying like $1 a pound for the soil. It's usually from either Long Island or it'll be like from, this area, like the Hudson River Valley, but usually more often it's like from here. So I literally just go out into the yard and I use the soil I got outside. It's that rich. I'm lucky with that.
Yeah. If you want red clay, you can come to where I live.
It's not the best for growing.
I remember we had to build a fucking park, and it's like, okay, we're gonna plant these trees. I'm like, it's all red clay.
You know what's funny? If you look at my
no, they like
cursor,
gave us shovels, and I'm like, what do you think we're gonna do with these
Red,
shovels? Give me
Red plays a
fucking
great
axe.
cop. All right, like that's something you can cover your soil with to protect the roots from sunlight and shit, right? But
hey
as
guys.
a proper medium, I wouldn't use it.
What's up?
I got some good news for you. I was just scanning over the stats, and I have great news.
Nut shots.
Yes, we've got our eighth nut shot.
Nice.
Yeah, we've got our 8th nut shot, and somebody officially, now don't take this the wrong way, but somebody took it in the left cheek. We've got eight nut shots and 23 ass shots.
Somebody needs to stop bending over.
Well, what I'm thinking is, chances are what wound up happening is the dude got shot in the nuts, and then he fell back, and then he almost fell completely forward, or did fall completely forward, discharged his weapon, ricocheted it, and yep, square in the left cheek, or square in the right cheek, depending on the angle of the bullet. Unless he was unlucky enough that the same guy shot him twice and just, decided to get him in the nuts and then in the ass,
Oh, the shooter listens to the show and wanted to bring the stats up.
Cool. We got audience participation.
Sweet. Oh,
that's what I call viewer engagement.
Yeah, dedicated fan base.
Fucking sweet. Hey, I'm glad they like it, man. It's entertaining as hell to me. I'm glad I'm not the only sick bastard laughing at all these dead bodies.
Or chanting more dead bodies, more dead bodies.
Circling back, Drom he had asked the question, how is he getting the root mass for 10 feet? Okay, in an 11-gallon bucket. Because he's doing outdoor. And outdoor, what you get is all the elements treating the plant actually quite badly. The wind, the rain, they all weigh on it, and you get these thick stalks, right? Rather than your thin indoor stalks. You want to fix that? Get yourself a fan. Put it on high and make sure that it oscillates to push the plants. You want the plants. This from the wind is plant exercise, okay?
Yeah.
And what you end up with is something like this, where you're standing on a step ladder. All right, a regular-sized adult human is now, trying to reach up to the tops of these plants because their stalks are thick enough to hold up the weight. The root does enough, and the wind does the rest, and that's what you get. So, yeah, you notice he has his back to the camera. We did that on purpose to make sure that we can protect the guilty here. And that's from 10 plus years ago, so way beyond the statute of limitations. Just want everyone to know that.
Yeah.
Don't. Although
Very
I do
old
know
picture.
a certain two people. Ooh. Oh, picture time? Hell yeah.
But I mean,
you're gonna show pictures of all this fun stuff.
If you want to pull up some pictures, go ahead. For noobs, do your first plants if you were inclined to do so. I'm not encouraging anyone to do that. That might be illegal. But if you were so inclined, your best bet is probably to do it like a 3rd grade bean project, right? You want to malt your seeds in a wet paper towel, or just in like a small amount of water, like a half an inch of water, and then as soon as they sprout a little bit, put them in black soil in a paper cup, and let them grow in there until the plant is big enough and actually starts to have proper shaped leaves, what you would recognize as like a rap album cover. Then you break open the styrofoam cup or paper cup or whatever, and then you put them into, this is again for noobs, more topsoil, just pure black soil, and like you want like a 70-30, let's say goat manure mix. 30% goat manure, not cow manure. Goat manure works best for tomatoes and cannabis.
Ooh,
and that's a good first season. You're going to get a good result, especially outdoor. If you're doing an outdoor, that will work for you.
So
now,
you'll have fine results.
Those tomatoes are fucking amazing.
Now, whenever you guys Now, the thing is, when you're growing this specific plant that we're speaking of, the leaf number, the number of fingers to the leaves goes up exponentially every time that the leaves come up. Now, the first set of leaves that you're going to see are going to be 2 round leaves.
Yeah.
They're just, those are just like the training wheel leaves. After that, you're going to get...
They're already fully formed inside the seed, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. And yeah, they're infant leaves.
Exactly. So the second set of leaves that comes out, it's going to have a finger and a finger, and they're going to look like the fingers of what these leaves are supposed to look like. So you're going to wait, and what you want to wait for is each set's going to come up. The next set's going to have 3, and then the set after that is going to have 5. You want to wait till you get your first set with 7. Once you get the ones that come with the 7, once all of the fingers have exited, now you literally have to, when you start to see these 7 leaves come, the first set with 7 come out, you're going to actually want to watch like a hawk, watch the plant. The next set that comes out, you want to get those leaves right at the base where it attaches to the stem, and you want to clip them right then and there. That's your first prune, because now from those 2 leaves you just pruned, you're going to get 4. Now, you're going to let those 4 grow in. The next set of 4 that come in, you're going to prune them. You're going to get 8. You do that maybe 1 or 2 more times, and then you're good.
See, that's, you're doing crowning. You're looking for multiple crowns. My thing, and I love this, I really love this, is I go bottom up, and I take off all the branches from the bottom until there's nothing left but 1 at the top. And if you flower at the right moment, what you have is 1 long stalk and 1 cola. And that, either way works, right? You're looking for volume, but one way is like multiple crowns, the other is 1 big ass crown. It depends what you like. It's all visual effect, right? I mean,
I'm going for the multiples because I'm trying to keep the height down. That's the thing, because
so if you actually can crimp the whole top at one point, right? That you just fucking cut it off and let it go outwards. Yeah.
Right. Well, doing it this way, I usually get the plant where it'll stop off at about, this is the thing, I don't even have to trim the top, but I get the plant where it grows out so wide. So it's at 7 foot high when it's done growing, but at the same time, I can't put my arms around.
Yeah.
Right. So that's the way I do it.
My buddy that many years ago, before, like, outside of the statute of limitations, that I helped do this. We did multiple experiments with this kind of thing. And yeah, like, so we've done all kinds, and we've done all kinds of strains. And yeah, like, I mean, here's the thing, is it works best depending on the plant. If it's indica, then short and wide works fantastic. If it's sativas just want to grow tall, so you go for that super height and just 1 big ass bud. But either way, you're getting good results. And yeah, for noobs, don't go fucking crazy. Just take care of a plant like you would take care of a plant. You know?
Yeah, and sativa just also could help you. Go ahead.
Now, I remember seeing this in a movie once, and I'm going to say this because this is characteristic and potentially stupid. But due to the fact that I have so much of this particular resource on hand, if I go to the right neighborhood, I'm curious to see as an experiment if this would work. Now, say you got a cornfield. Now, I remember there was this one movie, it was goofy M. Night Shyamalan movies, where this dude literally took all the victims and used them for fertilizer by burying them in a cornfield. If you took some sativas and did that same thing, would that work?
Are you asking, are humans a good fertilizer for plants?
Yeah.
Yeah, of course they are.
Yes.
Right? And any animal is a fantastic fertilizer.
Biological matter.
Yeah. You know, and it's not even that the humans are a good fertilizer. It's that the worms will eat them, and the worm waste is quite possibly the purest manure there is. Right? Yeah.
I see.
I'm thinking about it, though. I might argue against using humans just specifically because of our diets. There's probably so much dense metal, so much toxin, so much crap in our systems that's going to get transferred to the plants. I personally, I would rather not use humans as a fertilizer.
See, and me personally, like I prefer. That's exactly why I prefer to use buckets, and not just free ranging, is because then I can control everything that goes in and out of it.
Exactly.
And that way, yeah, I can use proper flushes towards the end to, just like either pure water, or you can actually get a proper flush that will go up through the plant and pull out all the excess heavy metals and different nutrients, and clean it out in the last week. Maybe
you don't plumb your buckets.
What's that?
You don't plumb your buckets.
You mean, do I have drainage in my buckets?
Yeah.
Of course I have drainage in my buckets. What do you?
No, I mean plumb. I mean, do you have any plumbing going into them? Do you have like lines fed into the buckets?
Generally, no. I prefer to do it by hand. Because I don't do like if you're looking at like hundreds of plants, then you don't have much choice, right? You can't give 15 minutes to 200 plants every day. It's just not possible, right? But I'm usually looking at 4 to 10, so I can afford that if I were to do such a thing. But no, by hand, but good drainage, right? And make sure You guys remember Idiocracy?
Oh yeah.
All right, and fucking Brondo, the thirst mutilator. It's what plants crave. It's loaded with electrolytes. It's loaded with salts. Salt is plant poo. The way you take a dump, plants dump salt at the bottom of their soil. All right, that's the waste product that they create. So you have to have drainage from your buckets to be able to get all the salt away, because otherwise, they're fucking drowning in their own shit. Yeah. So yeah. Like plumbing up you just make sure you have good drainage, right? That's it. If it's as simple as fucking driving a screwdriver in 4 or 6 key places in the bottom of the bucket, that's more than enough. They'll get the water. Don't worry, whatever pours out. All right. That's why you see those plant pots that come with a dish, is because they expect the water to drain out the bottom, and what the plant needs, it will pull up from the dish. Right? Those roots will fill the bucket. Don't worry, they will. They'll grow into it, and they'll take what they need before they get down to the bottom. And when they do get down to the bottom, they'll pull up the water and leave the salts. But you need that room to let the water drain out and drain out all the salt.
It sounds quite interesting. So theoretically,
what are you motherfuckers doing, and why are you not watching the Avengers? Plot twist: everybody dies at the end.
Spoiler alert, motherfucker!
What's going on?
I like the new Avatar. That's sexy, buddy.
What up?
Yeah, I do like that. It's very Miami Vice.
Yeah.
I'm getting fucking aesthetic in here.
Why does he have a Band-Aid for his profile picture?
That's an interesting look.
I thought it was more like a fucking pharmaceutical ecstasy.
Look, all I'm saying is, if I went to the store and I saw a box of Band-Aids that looked like that, I'd buy the entire stock and I'd wear that shit daily. That's all I'm fucking saying.
I'd lock them for no reason.
I would cut myself just to have a reason to put a Band-Aid on.
Well, that's another thing I can wear to more. I could just put gauze all over my fucking face. Just wrap myself like when I had a fucking head injury.
You're gonna shave your head and be like Sluther.
Yeah.
And then we'll stick a couple of those bandages on you if you accidentally cut your scalp.
Yeah, we'll stick purposeful on you via his ass.
Seriously,
I'm going to DC. Why'd you shave your head? Are you a skinhead? No.
I am hijacking this. Has anybody seen Infinity War?
6 did.
No,
he's not here anymore.
No, I did.
Rate it. Fight me.
7.5 out of 10.
What? I'm fighting you. I gave it. I gave you an 8. I gave it an 8. So I mean, it's fine. It wasn't my favorite. It wasn't my favorite Marvel.
Oh no,
but it was fun. It was better than Black Panther. That's for damn sure. God,
Yeah,
that was terrible.
I still like my Iron Man one.
I have still yet to see Black Panther because I really don't care. And Infinity Wars, I'm probably
terrible.
not.
It's just meh. It's
terrible.
decent,
No, it's
but
terrible.
it's just
It's
meh.
not even decent. It's terrible.
I think
The
I
guy
like
sucks.
the
The jokes
right
fucking
memes
suck.
better than anything.
Yeah, no, the jokes are fucking awful.
Black Panther is literally the new Millennium's version of blaxploitation, and it's fucking trash.
I figured that's what it was going to want.
The message of the movie isn't so much that; it's just everybody missed the fucking point of the actual
figured if
movie. It's like, no, dipshits, it's saying not to do that. Like, oh well, this.
Well, I love Black Panther. Like, I love the actual story arc of the canonized version of Black Panther. Like, I love that. It's a very nationalistic story. It's a supreme story. It's a prideful story. It's a family story. I like that. The movie did not necessarily portray that. And what it did portray, it blaxploitated it. It's like the Netflix, the Netflix world or whatever. Like the Luke Cage was my least favorite of them, and it has nothing to do with the fact that he's black. It has everything to do with the fact that the people who wrote the story were clearly white people trying to write black people jokes, and it was fucking terrible. It was blaxploitation, and it's trash. It's just absolutely fucking trash. But I would rather subject myself to watching Luke Cage the entire season 7 times consecutively without restroom breaks than watching the Black Panther movie again once.
The sun will set on the never set on the Wakandan Empire.
I will say this though about
I'm
Luke
like,
Cage.
oh, for the love of God!
I did like Cottonmouth in Luke Cage though. He was good.
Luke Cage started strong and ended weak.
Oh yeah, oh yeah, oh yeah.
Well, it actually got better in the
Don't say Defenders.
Defenders series. It actually got better.
No,
I have to still see that. I haven't seen it yet.
Well, yeah, when he's not
Defenders
the only
so
fucking character time. Dude, you know who ruined the Defenders? It wasn't even Luke Cage. Luke Cage was fucking fine. It's that fucking Iron Fist character.
Yeah.
Holy fucking crap. If there was ever a time where I wanted to see a character not stick true to his comic book fucking origins, it was now, and they fucking failed.
The Iron Fist series, the Iron Fist character, and the Defenders was literally ruined by that guy.
But he was playing that character. He actually unironically played the character the way the character should be played. And that's the fucking problem, because the character is shit. The character is fucking shit.
The character in and of itself isn't terrible. It requires he is terrible. But with the right story, that character becomes valuable, and they didn't do it. They fucking rushed that shit out, and then they rushed out Defenders, and I swear to God, season 2 of Jessica Jones was better than both fucking Defenders, Iron Fist, and Luke Cage. And season 2 of Jessica Jones was pretty much lackluster.
Yep.
All right.
Basically, the only one with staying power is Daredevil seasons 1 and 2, and of course Punisher. Punisher's
I didn't finish Punisher. I should get back to that. Even Jessica Jones.
Why are you here? Why are you here?
I know I should, but I still got a soft spot in my heart for Jessica Jones because season 1 was actually phenomenal. I loved it, and also because guess what? She and I dress exactly the same. I didn't realize that till like the end of season 2. I was like, oh my God, I dress exactly like Jessica Jones.
Jessica Jones would have been better. The first season of Jessica.
I'm unironically attracted to you now. That's weird. It's weird. Things change overnight.
It happens, man. You know, I'm not unsexy. Let's say that.
The first season of Jessica Jones would have been much better if it was maybe 20% shorter. That's either that or a few of those episodes that were filler episodes. They maybe could have tried to move the plot a little bit more
because they did 10, right? Yeah. I could have seen it done in 8. Yeah, for sure. For sure.
Yeah. It just to me that it felt like they put a little bit too much meat on those bones. Daredevil, I did not feel there was any problem with pacing at all.
No.
Start to finish, the pacing to that series was excellent.
And you know what? They stuck with something. They had a key element in the first season, and they expanded on it in the second. In the first season, it's the hallway fight. It it looks like one shot. Now there are key moments where you can cheat the camera, but it's like one long shot for about 6.5 minutes of him fighting these guys in the hallway, and he's not doing well. He's surviving the whole fight.
Brutally fighting. Yeah.
Yes.
Daredevil is unironic. Honestly, Daredevil, I'm not big into watching TV or movies. I just don't like them for lots of reasons. Daredevil was the first show I ever binge watched, and I binge watched the whole fucking thing in a day.
Oh, I believe it. It's totally doable. I
could not stop. I stay up until 4 o'clock in the morning watching Daredevil.
There's always something for Daredevil, and it like, but that fight, you know the fight I'm talking about, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's masterfully done, and in the second season they redux it with the stairwell fight. And the same idea. There's moments where the camera's panning and it's panning across a wall, and you know they can cheat the camera for that moment, right? And make it look like one long shot for 6.5, 7 minutes. And they stole this from The Protector, Tony Jaa after Ong Bak.
Oh yeah,
yeah, where they did the pagoda fight, and the pagoda fight is literally one shot. There's no cheating it. It's a one shot, and they looked for that. They wanted to have that kind of pseudo-Asian feel for those fight scenes, and they nailed it. They fucking crushed it, man. And the best part is that in those fights, Daredevil he's fighting and he's winning, but it's not like a clean victory. He's on the ropes the whole fucking time. And that's what makes it believable, that this superhero with these crazy powers, right, is still a person and is at risk of losing this at every moment through all of those minutes.
He's more Batman than Batman.
Yeah, exactly. That's such a great way to put it.
Have you ever seen Chocolate?
No.
You know what I'm talking about?
No.
It's a kung fu movie.
Oh my God! No! Yes, it's a Thai movie. It's not a kung fu movie.
Potato.
No, I actually have that on fucking DVD 9.
Yeah, the autistic girl.
Yeah,
dude, that movie's brutal as fuck.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Yeah. Now I know what you're talking about.
And they're fighting up and down. They're scaling a building and fighting. I was like, holy shit, this is amazing.
I have it all in Thai. There's no subtitles.
Oh well, I mean, you're not. I mean, as far as the story is concerned, like you're not really, you're not missing much.
But the visuals are fucking astounding. Like,
yeah.
Asians.
So I'm guessing you guys have seen the Tai Chi Master, then, right?
Of course. Oh my God, yeah, that's a Jet Li film. That's a 80s almost, early 90s.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, I remember the first time I seen it. I think it was probably 98 or 99. I was upstate of college. And one of the guys I was friends with, kid was phenomenal playing hacky sack, big hippie kid. And so he's like, "Yo, Scoob, I just picked up from Syracuse. You feel like blazing?" I'm like, "Yeah, sure." So we're up in his dorm room chilling, and he throws this thing in. I'm like, "What the fuck is this?" He's like, "Well, last time I went downstate into the Bronx, I grabbed one of this from this guy I know. He gets all these videos from like China and shit." I'm like, "All right." He's like, "You ever see this?" I'm like, "Nah." He's like, "You told me you went to that theater that showed all of them Chinese movies, right?" I go, "Yeah." I said, "Most of them were like from the 70s, some from the 80s. He's like, "This is a little newer." He's like, "I don't think you've ever seen this one before." I'm like, "Okay, throw it in." And so he threw it in, and holy shit. What a fucking great movie.
Oh, yeah. No, it's so good.
Have you ever seen Ip Man?
Of course.
Yes, I've seen all of them.
I have all three on Blu-ray, man.
Yeah, dude.
Okay.
No, that's it. Just, I mean, that's fine. Because if you haven't, I probably have to strangle you for your own good.
Bro, the table fight. That's all I'm saying. The table fight and Ip Man 2. That's all I'm saying.
Dude, Ip Man versus those 10 Japanese dudes. Holy fuck.
Yes,
that was the brutalest fight scene I've ever seen in my entire life.
That's a master. Oh my God. The choreography for that is beyond.
Dude, he fucks those guys up. Like, holy shit, he fucks those guys up.
But I mean, like, even with Mike Tyson as a villain in 3, Mike Tyson fucking holds his goddamn own against Donnie Yen. Like you're looking at pure boxing versus Chinese boxing, not kung fu, not some fucking mystical bullshit. You're looking at two guys trying to beat the shit out of each other in the way they know how.
Mm-hmm.
And my God, Tyson's the man, buddy. He's so good. He's so powerful. It really comes off well. And,
now here's an obscure one. Have you ever seen Ricky O?
No.
Kill yourself.
No. Just fucking link me.
You could probably find it on YouTube. I think that's where the last time I saw it. I've seen that's one of like maybe the 5 movies I've ever watched more than once.
Ricky O?
I think it's The Legend of Ricky O or The Story of Ricky O. I think there actually might be 2 different versions.
I think I've seen
separately. It sounds familiar.
No.
Have any of you ever been to Toronto?
Hold on, Scoob. There is no I think I might have seen Ricky O. If you've seen Ricky O, you know you've seen Ricky O.
The same way you know you've seen Ip Man or Ong Bak.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. There is no forgetting. There's no going back. When you observe and witness The Legend of Ricky O, there is no returning back to normal life. After seeing the story of Ricky O, you might have seen clips, you might have seen other movies or like TV shows like make memes of it or whatever, or like joke about it. But no, if you've actually seen the movie, a man commits seppuku, cuts his own intestines open, starts to strangle himself while he like throws his intestines at Ricky O like in a dagger, like it's a dagger on a fucking chain. Like, dude, it's some.
So this is a Japanese film.
It's like
I'm pretty sure I've seen that because wait, is that the one in the prison almost?
Yes, the whole thing is in a prison.
Yes, I've seen that. I've seen that because I remember I was watching Ichi the Killer's movie, which was kind of fucking awful compared to the manga.
Yeah, he throws the guy in the meat grinder at the end.
Well, I guess you guys
I've seen
it.
Fucking like
I'm pretty sure I've seen this one.
I guess you guys then think
Demolition D's stream because he was watching it on Ustream one day and he's like, "Hey, let's watch some movies." And I'm like, "Okay, let's see this." And I saw this movie. I'm like, Jesus.
So
the fucking guy has shit in his eye that he eats like tobacco or whatever he chews on.
Do you guys
I know what
think
you're talking
Brother
about.
is like a pussy movie, right?
Which one?
Brother?
Which one's that?
Is that the box?
Yeah, where this Japanese Yakuza guy has sent his younger brother over to North America to start a Yakuza clan there. And then he shows up years later and is like, "You've done nothing. You're just some fucking street gang punk selling drugs. No, we're going to go murder every fucking leader of every goddamn fucking gang and mafioso bullshit." You've never seen this movie?
Those people produce
I've heard of it, but I never
pornography.
saw
That's
it.
bad.
Brother is fucking fantastic. It's good. It's more like what's his name? Jesus
I'll have
Christ.
to watch both of these. Yeah, but both you motherfuckers better send me some of these movies.
The
'Cause
Asian
this sounds like some really brutal
Asian
shit.
producer director who loves guns.
Oh, I know who you're
Oh,
fucking talking about.
Something Woo, Donnie Woo, I think.
Yes.
Yeah, John Woo. Yep.
John Woo. Okay, it's like it's a John Woo instead of a what's the other guy? Not
Here,
Chow Yun.
right here. I went to YouTube. I typed in Ricky O, and I've got you a fucking link.
As I say, I'm pretty sure it's on
The
YouTube.
guy who did the Matrix choreography. I can't
I
remember.
know who you're talking about.
Didn't
I know who
Takeshi
you're
Kitano-
talking about.
Didn't Takeshi Kitano do?
Mm.
If I remember, he did some action
that
movies.
is literally the
What's the
link to
name of the
video I
guy
just
who
did.
choreographed the Matrix?
Hey, Gay, you're alive. What's happening?
CBS, how are you? Haven't seen you in a while, man.
Here you go. It's the second link, and then
Okay. Point being,
Scoop's channel,
Brother is
and I'll give
actually
it to
very
the-
good. If you guys are like, "Oh, what's Brother?" No, it's worth a watch. But has anybody on the panel been to Toronto?
No, I live in
Okay,
America.
all right.
Why would I go to Canada?
Because it's
yeah.
fucking awesome in places. We have our pockets of awesomeness. Okay.
I apologize to the chat. I thought I'd be able to actually post the link to the video in there, but apparently I can't. So just go Google Ricky O.
Is this the link right here? Purposeful discussion
The second,
in the
the
side
second
chat.
one, yeah.
For us? All right, I'm gonna copy that link.
Oh, I just because
I'm gonna put it in the chat for everybody else. Okay.
I was trying to get up a map.
You don't have a wrench? You don't have a wrench? Oh.
I don't care. Actually, you know what? I'm gonna one up you. Not only do I not care, I don't fucking want a wrench.
Oh, bitch. Oh. That's
my favorite.
That's part meta, part artistic, part hipster. I love it. It's great.
Yeah.
I was no wrench before no wrench was cool.
Oh well, we lost him. I was saying I was looking up Toronto because I was going to get the Ontario map because I spent a hell of a lot more time in Quebec than I did Ontario. But I was in Toronto for a little. And I was just looking up and I'm like, oh, I just see of everybody with the identitarianism immediately. New York Times. They were whamming. I'm like, ugh.
Dropped out. I was gonna make a joke that he should be careful because Purposeful might rape him. You know, dolphins like.
Am I back now?
Yeah.
Yes, you are.
Now. But I'm about to go to bed. I just did like a way too long stream. Spoilers and no spoilers review of Infinity War. So if anybody's interested in watching a no spoilers review, I did a pretty decent one. But the long story short, go fucking watch the damn movie. It's fucking great.
It's an interesting experience.
30 seconds though. If you've got 30 seconds, I'm pretty sure I can do this. If you ever come to Toronto and you hit Pacific Mall out in the East End, it's like stepping through a portal into somewhere in China that stores are 10 feet by 10 feet and loaded with merchandise, and the hallways between these fucking little glass booths are 6 feet across. Okay, so you're shoulder to shoulder with everyone in the mall. Whenever you walk past, you feel like you've been transported to somewhere else. You really like, and
my God, Purposeful. I haven't seen this movie in like 20 years.
It doesn't matter. You're gonna watch it again because it's fucking amazing.
No, I've seen this. I've seen it. I just was skipping around in the scenes. I seen the part where they're in the prison. It looks like a big crucifix. I remember this now.
Mm-hmm. It's a fun movie.
When you,
I was on a lot of hallucinogens the last time I seen this, so that's probably why I didn't remember it.
I'm pretty sure I was drunk as shit on that day. They're like, "Hey, demo streaming. Let's go. Regret life."
When you get to this mall, if you do. Yeah, you're transported. It's somewhere else, and there's a number of places that sell fucking bootleg films, and you can get everything new, old, all of it, in these tiny, cramped little spaces that will fix your PlayStation and sell you bootleg movies and a fucking silk-made fucking formal
hand job.
No, Sufi shirt.
I mean, if you ask the right questions, you can get one, I'm sure.
No, not there. You have to go outside of there because these places are respectable, despite the fact that they're tiny. And you
can get a respectable hand job.
No, you can get a card for a respectable hand job.
That's all right. That's a step in the right direction.
But they'll send you miles away, right? Here, this place is it is so like. If you've never been to Asia, right? If you've never been to China, Japan, you'll walk in there and you'll think you have been. And you know what? If you've been to those places and you walk in there, you'll be like, "Oh, okay, yeah, no, I get it. You have this huge population from East Asia."
And sounds like Swaparama. I'll probably like to go there.
The best Asian meals I've ever had are from this mall in their food court on the upper floor.
Ironically, the worst Asian meals I ever had was when I spent a week in Japan. Their food is terrible. I know it's probably terrible of me to say that because it's authentic and shit. And
it depends what you're having. If you're having a fucking squid that you pour soy sauce on, you're gonna be like me and just stare at it.
I was there for a week, so I had a lot of stuff. And I have an aunt who's from Japan. Like she's ethnically from Japan. Like she's first generation. Like she doesn't speak English. She speaks Japanese. She's from Japan, so she cooks Japanese food. But I guess she cooks it Americanized or something, or lazily maybe even. But I mean, that shit's delicious. The stuff I ate in Japan from like places that were like, you know, expensive, authentic restaurants, like I didn't like fucking any of it like at all.
For me, it was like every third thing I had was like, okay, this is pretty good. The other stuff, I'm like, my palate's not supposed to be eating this, is it? But
or
Irving,
it takes a minute, right? Like, you know, you gotta get used to some of that shit.
We lost Tara.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Seems like
Irving, I
everyone's
was looking. It is Takeshi Kitano. He did Brother. I've seen the movie because I've seen a shit ton of Takeshis.
Yeah.
He's a fucking wonder man. I swear to God.
And
he's an interesting guy. He's like, hey, fuck it, I'm gonna make a video game. Hey, fuck it, I'm gonna make a movie. Hey, fuck it, I'm gonna make a insert something.
Fuck it, I'm gonna tell a story. That's the.
I'm gonna direct. I'm gonna make a movie. I'm gonna what the fuck.
Have you ever seen Hardcore Henry?
I haven't had the
didn't watch
chance.
it. Oh my god, I've had
I
so
saw
many
the trailer
chances
years
to
ago.
download it, and I actually hear it's very good.
It's amazing, and it's super hard to find on video.
Yeah, that was the thing I heard. It's not easily accessible. I'm like,
It's
well,
not easily accessible. Like you will have to find it. Like you can't just go to the store and buy it. Like if you find it at a store, you probably wasted your luck and you should have bought a lottery ticket. That's how fucking rare it is. You're gonna have to get it offline. But if you want to see it, which you should see, because if you like, like I said, I don't like movies, but I know I like originality.
Oh, I love movies.
If you love movies and you love original movies and you like action movies, you need to see Hardcore Henry.
Yeah, it looked really nice.
It's an experience, and I don't say that lightly. But anyway, speaking of experiences, if you guys have not seen Infinity War, you need to pony up the $12 for a fucking movie ticket. You need to go see that shit because it's fucking amazing. Thanos, very rarely, actually. It's fair to say this because I haven't seen a lot of movies, but I have never seen a movie where I have felt more like sympathy for the actual like antagonist of the story. He was the star. He made that fucking movie. He was so good. Josh Brolin, I think, is the guy who was the actor of that character. Granted, he was CGI the entire fucking time. It doesn't matter. It was fucking.
I'll tell you this. I hate
anime,
the way he
yell
looks.
at it for having CGI.
And my buddy, who's the other big comic book fan that I know, he said it's a great fucking movie, that it's a comic book on film. And you know what? I don't care if it's good or bad. A comic book on film, if this guy tells me that's what it is, yeah, it's worth watching.
Well, if you've not seen like most of the other movies,
have an issue there.
I see them all.
Shit. Oh, if you've seen them all, you're good to go.
Except
But
Black Panther.
To anybody who's listening, it's that's good because it's trash and you don't need to see it. Anybody who's within a range of my voice who's not seen this movie, if you have not seen a majority or even half of the rest of the Marvel Cinematic Universe, you will be lost as a motherfucker because there is no build up. This movie starts with fucking action. It goes into comedy for 20 minutes. It goes into action for 20 minutes, and then it goes back to comedy for 20 minutes, and then goes back to action for 20 minutes. There's very little like, oh, this is what's happening and why it's happening. It's just fucking, hey, you better know what the fuck's going on. You better have spent money. You better drop that fucking guap and bought the other films and watched the other fucking films. Because if you haven't, you're not gonna have any idea what's going on. And even then, if you have no idea what's going on, your eye pussy is gonna be fucked by their visual dick, and you're gonna enjoy it anyway. So it doesn't fucking matter. You just need to go see the damn movie.
Well said.
And circling back, if anyone ever comes to Toronto and they want to hit up Pacific Mall,
I really wasn't in Toronto very long.
Okay, all right. I'll do that on my after hours.
I will literally never come to Canada until the timeline changes.
Suck my dick. I live here, bitch. Okay, I don't give a fuck about you now.
I have lots of friends in Canada. I have lots of friends in Canada, and the reason I don't go to Canada is not because of the people. It's because of your country's political system.
Well, let me tell you, it's totally worth it to fucking come visit Pacific Mall, especially if you love kung fu movies and fucking Chinese food.
I am not giving your government my money. Period.
It's literally worth it.
If you want to bring me up there on your dime,
those dollars.
This is the hot debate of the night. Why won't you visit Canada?
I will not visit Canada solely on I will not economically support the system of Canada. That's
when we come back and fucking recruit a conservative government, will you visit then?
Then we'll talk.
All right, and then we'll go to Pacific Mall. That's all I want. I just want you to go to the Pacific Mall. That's all.
Then I might I might think about
CN Tower,
granting
Ripley's
Canada
Aquarium.
with
I
my
don't give a
graces.
shit. All right, like
You know, it's funny.
Wait,
I
Ripley's
was,
aquarium?
I want you to see our Asians.
you know, it's funny since I was actually just in my library looking for my copy of the Infinity Gauntlet as a visual aid for what Purposeful was talking about.
Yeah.
But I couldn't find it. But I found something else interesting while I was looking. You guys, the nerds, you remember this?
Speak so we can see it.
You remember this, don't you?
I can't read it.
Yeah, it's too shiny.
I can't read it.
All right. Well, let me show you the other one. This one you might remember.
Oh, yeah, I got that.
Oh.
Book of Nod and the
White Wolf
series fragments. I can't pronounce that shit.
Yeah, White Wolf.
Yeah. The Book of Nod's still in the plastic.
Oh my god.
Yeah, the only good D&D type thing that wasn't D&D.
Yeah, I'm still looking. I got in the room somewhere. I got the silver record for the werewolves.
Oh, okay, yeah.
And these days, I don't buy comic books anymore. What I do is 6 months to 3 years later, I find out an arc existed, and I buy the trade.
Yeah, that's what I do too.
That trade. Yeah.
Or I did have the subscription to Marvel Online for a long time, but I got rid of it once they went SJW.
Once they burned you, right?
I called them up, and this is what pieces of shit Disney are. I called up Marvel, and I go like this to them. I go, yeah, I've had a subscription to Amazing Spider-Man since 1983. They go, oh, that's fantastic. I go, yeah, I'm canceling it because of what you did to the character and what you're doing to the comics in general. Okay, sorry to lose you. Have a nice day. They didn't even care.
No.
You know what I do? I go to the fucking library, and I pick up what I want. Because my local library actually has a very extensive. Well, they don't call it comic books; they call it like
graphic novels.
The graphic novel section is very extensive. in my library, all you have to do is they have like this drop box at the front, and they have like a thing of cards, and you can pick up the card and you can write down what book you want to see at the library, and they'll literally buy it.
No,
see,
I can't.
You know what
I can't
Scooby's
do it
problem?
right.
Scooby's problem and my problem.
You can't read.
Same problem. Yeah, no. Is that we're collectors?
No.
If I'm gonna read it, I want to have it.
I'm
mine.
like that with books. I actually just went and spent $150 on a Babylonian Talmud.
Nice.
Yeah, but yeah, no.
It's a 22 volume set. So I mean,
to the degree right? That like I walk into a bookstore.
Oh yeah, no, I got you.
Without spending $50-$60. Right, and most times over 100. It's my biggest vice. Sorry, Burnside. I can't hear you. You're down the well, but go ahead.
Hold on.
I got you now.
Oh, we lost him.
I've been going to the bookstore, and they've had this volume, and it's hard to find. I mean, you can get copies of it off like the internet and stuff, but they're like $400, and then like it's another $35 for shipping in, because it's fucking 22 volumes. It's like, have you ever seen an encyclopedia set? It's that size. Like it's fucking huge. It's histories of Jewish law, like ancient Jewish law, pre-Bible shit, pre-Catholic Church.
Yeah.
And then it's like the other volumes that are contained in it is like different rabbis, like from thousands of fucking years ago, interpreting the laws and shit. So it's like an amazing, accurate historical reference, especially to someone who's interested in stuff like that.
Interesting.
Shout out to the Oives. But people have not purchased it, and it went down from $400 to $350. It's gone down $50 multiple times until it went down to $200 last week or whatever. When I was in the store, I was like, okay, now's the time to buy it because I got to get it now. I've been waiting. I could literally turn around right now. And all right, so I even got an extra $25 off it because it has some Aspergillus penicillium mold, which I don't expect most people to understand what that means because that's the line of profession. I do home. My profession, the job that I employ myself in, it has to deal with like home related stuff. So I know a lot of stuff when it comes to related
I've
to home.
cultivated quite a lot from time to time. I'm trying to remember.
So I know. So yes, Aspergillus penicillium is the white fuzzy mold. It's one of the best. It's if you have mold or a fuzz on your books, like old books you've kept in like a basement where it's been dank or something like that. Not the weed, but like the moisture. And it's got like this white film on it and you can like rub it off with your hands or whatever. Don't do that because it's mold. It's not dust.
No, I know, but it's also fucking pansy mold. Like you're not going to breathe it in and die.
No, it's not. But you can easily spread it to like everywhere else in your house.
But all it takes is a little soap and water and it fucking comes clean.
Not so much soap. I mean, you can wipe it.
That's exactly what it is. You need
everywhere else in your house.
My dude, trust me, I literally know what I'm talking about. That's not a good idea. Washing away mold with just water is probably the worst thing you can do because the only way that mold it's not that kind of mold. Here's how mold works. Mold only lives and grows when it has a substance to feed on, which in case of books is literally the entire book because it's all made of paper, which has
paper, right? Okay.
And water. That's literally it. There's no heat, there's no sunshine, just a food source, which is pretty much everything outside of like steel and water. So if you wash it away with just water and not like a chemical solvent that's specifically designed, nope, not even soap. Not even soap. Soap does not kill mold. Bleach does not kill mold. Prior to contrary myth, that actually doesn't. No, bleach does not kill mold. It turns it white, but it doesn't kill it.
No. Hold on. Most of your common dish soaps are still lye based, and the lye will kill that pansy ass mold. It's not black mold. It's not something that's gonna fucking that the spores will fucking infect your lungs and kill you.
Here's what it'll do. It'll kill the stuff on this. It'll wash away the stuff on the surface, but that's what it does is it penetrates into the paper. So unless you soak the paper, right, you're not killing shit. What you need is a specific type of chemical that when you apply it to it, it'll wash the stuff off and do all the stuff that normal soap does. But when when the chemical itself dries out, when mold touches that chemical or it gets any form or even like a certain like a 0.1% of moisture or humidity in the air, it will reactivate that chemical and continue to kill that mold for another few years.
Oh, interesting. No. Whoa. Okay. They might survive certain types of situations, but molds work from 40 to 70. Outside of that percentage of humidity, they're not going to survive extended periods of time.
Oh no. They survive almost indefinitely. They go into a dormancy state. They just don't actively grow and reproduce.
My point is they're beatable. All right.
Yeah,
and
it's totally
some
beatable.
of that is keeping your books in a clean, dry place. Yeah, you'll shut them down and dude, I have too many books from the 1920s that should have been moldy, and yet I've kept them well. Right. Took off the mold with plain old soap and water on a leather-bound book.
Right.
And they don't grow now.
Put them in an attic or something. Let them sit in an attic for a couple weeks and see what happens.
Right. Okay. No shit. Right. But I'm in a basement. Okay. And the same way, the basement is finished, and it's not that you need proper conditions for mold. Mold needs those conditions, and normal conditions aren't good for mold. So if you can get off the most of it on the leather bound, like I have this I bought this set of books, complete works of Shakespeare, leather bound, from the 20s.
Yeah,
They
if you can find a way to clean off
when I got them.
If you can find a way to clean off the surface layer, and you're going to keep them indefinitely in somewhere where there's not high humidity or high moisture count in that specific area, then you're fine. However, like I said, if you want to remove it and kill it and bring it back to condition 1, you have to do it a very specific way. And that's since that's one of the things that I'm involved with doing for a living.
Exist. We're never going to be free of the nuclear option. On the other hand, right? We've calmed it down to a point where it's not a threat right now, right? And yeah, no, sure. My books may still have fucking mold spores in stasis, but dude, those mold spores in stasis are not a threat to me.
Right. But here's my thing. Here's my thing. I'm not saying you're wrong because it works for you. What I am, however, saying is that in specific particular cases, if someone were to listen to this and they're like, oh, I can just wash away mold, and there's someone that has like a mold allergy, or they're going to have kids that are allergic to mold and are going to have mold allergies, this is not, they're going
I see
like, oh, I can just wipe it away.
Sure.
Everything's fine. And that's not what I want to.
Sure. I'll warn my children and my grandchildren of the threat of the mold from these books that are 100 years old. Of course I'll do that, right? On the other hand, I think we're okay right now.
Right. No, totally. In the realm of probability, you're probably okay. I'm just saying, for the sake of being accurate, for those out there who might be listening and just be like, oh, well, I've got this mold issue. That's what that shit was. I can just wipe it away and everything will be fine. That's not the case.
Proper mold issue, you got to handle it. But once you handle it, I think you're going to be okay. Right. Be aware of what mold is and how to handle it. That's
right. Also, if you're going to just wipe your books down with something that's like soluble based or even just water, like, please put that shit on a very, very damp and very wrung out rag, and don't just dip a fucking rag or spray your books with like bottles of water. Like, just please don't. Please don't do that. Whoever's out there.
Oh yeah, no.
Exterminate papyrus.
Mold, like, dude, I've grown my own mushrooms outside of the statute of limitations. I know that mold can fucking kill you. Okay? If you mean to grow it, it can fucking kill you, and you better be fucking careful. Yeah, but on the other hand, molds like that, they're easier to handle. They're very straightforward to handle. Just be aware of it and handle it. That's right. Yeah, okay. I hope I don't think we're arguing here. I think
we're on the same page. Yeah, we're on the same page. So anyway, to continue the story, it price dropped to 200, and then I also had I shop there a lot, so I get coupons when I go there or whatever, because I know the people were like, hey, here's our local coupon. So I went in, and that's what happened today. They were like, oh, hey, look, 25% off. So I was like, oh fuck, they didn't know I was about to drop $200+ on some books. They thought I was just gonna grab like a book, you know what I mean, like. Right. So they were like, yeah, here you go. I was like, oh, cool. So $200, already a 0.25% off. And then I take it up there. And like I said, since I know them and stuff, I was like, so I noticed these keep going down in price. Nobody wants to buy them. And could it perhaps be by any chance that they're covered in mold? And they're like, well, yeah. I was like, so can I get anything off? Like I like the ultimate irony is that I bought the Babylonian Talmud, which is probably the most Jewish fucking set of texts there is on the planet to date, and I was super fucking Jewish about it. So I was ultra Jew today, right? I was fucking ultra Jew today. I went and bought the ultimate Jewish books. I bargained for a fucking discount on a discount that I was already given freely. While after waiting for 4 months for the price to come.
No, you're not. But I mean, dude. Okay. I would love to screen share this shit. Scooby, man. Oh, he's offline. Okay, yeah, so I can do whatever I want. Yeah. All right. No. Where is human nature so weak as in a bookstore? Henry Ward Beecher, right? If you're a proper, mildly intellectual person, Yeah, no, you can't walk into a bookstore and not spend money. And if you've been looking for something and they're offering it to you for whatever dollars, you'll fucking spend it, man. When you want to read that, yeah. I don't know how many books I own that I have not yet read because I walk into a bookstore and buy them. And I'm so behind. I don't have the time I used to, you know.
Most of the books that I have that I haven't read are mostly the reference section.
See, and me personally, I used to read at my height 40 books a year. That was straight out of high school, you know, when they used to force us in high school to read books. So I would read the books I wanted. And then I had this job, a good 2-hour bus ride, subway ride from where I lived. So I had 4 hours every day.
Ample time, yeah.
To work for 8, right? So took 12 hours. So at my peak, I was reading 40 books a year. And then in this, working at that job, I was reading 100 books a year. And that was for 3 solid years. I now own easily 5,000 books. And I never got rid of the habit. So even though I can't read 20 to 40 books a year, I still buy that many. And if I'm lucky, I can read 5. Like this calendar year, I've read 3. So that's actually pretty good at this point in my life. But I bought this calendar year 10. And last year, I probably bought 20 and only read 5 or 6 of them over the year. So yeah, it's hard. If you're a reader, yeah, and you find yourself without time, it doesn't stop you from buying books. You just fucking buy them. And
yeah, I still buy books, and I hardly ever read them unless I'm like out fishing.
I wouldn't really say I'm a reader because I don't buy like I don't own any fiction books outside of like the few comics that I actually physically own.
Man, like my for me, it runs from philosophy to comic books to chess books to fiction, right? That all, and I can read actually 4 or 5 genres at a time as long as they don't conflict with each other. And also if I have the time. And yeah,
most of my stuff is philosophy, religion, and science. And if you're looking for anything of form of reference to either philosophy or religion, like I've pretty much got that fucking covered.
Sure. Yeah. No. I mean,
and outside of that, I'll get into like historical shit sometimes if it's particular people that interest me or particular things that interest me. One of the most recent historical thing I bought was Historical Atlases of the United States, and it's, I guess, technically a reference book because it's just a bunch of, it's like from day one, you know, like this is what the map looked like here. This is like, there's lots of really minor, interesting things in there. It's not a book you really just sit down and fucking read. It's more a book like you look at every once in a while, or you can have on hand. You're like, oh, well, 1792. What was that all about? You flip to the 1792 page and it's like, oh, it turns out the fucking state of Ohio was going to be called like fucking Mesopotamia or some shit like that. It's like, what?
Sure, yeah. Why not, right?
Well, why not? Because that's a dumb name for a state, but
no. But because Ohio is not a dumb name for a state.
I would rather, if I lived in Ohio, I would rather say I live in a state with 4 letters than a state with like 16 fucking letters.
But you know what? Because one of my best friends is named Calciparambil, so fuck off.
You know, I don't have to talk about philosophy or history myself. Most of mine have to do with like folklore.
And I just have a ton of fiction.
Folklore and magic.
Yeah, I put that shit in my religion section. Like, like just from where I can see right now, I've got Native American myths and legends, a couple books on that. I've got Celtic legends, a couple books on that. Nordic legends. Greek and Roman legends.
Yeah. I mean, I get it, right? Like everyone has their fucking area of not even expertise, but of interest. And you'll absorb that shit when you're everyone will do it. You know? I mean, I learned Greek and Roman mythology from the time I was a kid. I learned fucking gardening from the time I was a kid. And even now, as an adult, I can't escape either one of those things, right? Any of them. Greek, Roman mythology, and fucking gardening. And guess what? I used to smoke weed, so I translated my gardening skills to weed easily. And I still know my Greek and Roman mythology, right?
Yeah.
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 You know, you grow up with things and you take them to heart, and yeah.
Here we go. Here's that page. Names for the proposed states in the Ohio territory. Sylvania was a proposed name for a state.
Sylvanas, where the hell is
Sylvania? Yeah, I think she fucking fucked off.
Pennsylvania, except
Michigania. Okay, that was one. Cheranoesis, that was one. Yeah, I live in the Cheranoesis state. Assinipisipia, that was a fucking name for a state.
Wait, what? Are you fucking kidding me?
No, these were probably native names, right? Like
Assennisipia. That was a name for a state. As if Mississippi wasn't hard enough to fucking spell already. Illinois. Illinois, right? Illinois.
Wow.
Metropotamia. I mean, that's actually not really a bad one.
That doesn't sound that bad.
Saratoga. That's not bad. Washington. They were actually originally going to name Ohio Washington. So I mean that.
Oh yeah.
Polyopotamia. That could have been a thing. Polycypia. That was another one.
Yeah, and you know, like some of them seemed like they were conglomerations of Roman or Greek names, right?
Yeah. So we've covered useless things that no one will ever ask you or you will never need to know.
Oh yeah,
we've covered that today, just in the last 2 minutes.
But they're somewhat fun, you know. And now Scooby is presenting Ultimate Power. I can't read the bottom. Can you tip it back a little?
No,
the
official book. I heard Scooby was presenting and I unzipped my pants prematurely.
Yeah, no, who didn't, right?
Book.
The real ultimate power.
No.
Yeah, I was gonna say
official ninja book. No, fuck these guys. They don't know what ninja is.
No, listen to me. This is probably one of the most twisted mind fuck books you will ever read. The guy who wrote this is a madman, and it's hysterical. Seriously, it's just one of the best things you'll ever read in your life. That's why it was. You have to read it if you get the chance.
Look,
if you want a book on ninjutsu, pick up something by Dr. Hatsumi. The guy's not only a surgeon, if I remember correctly, but he's actually a ninjutsu master.
Look, okay, I'm sorry. Ninjutsu. It's an assassin art, I believe it, but what they're trying to prescribe with that fucking flyer is shinobi, and it doesn't exist. Yep. It never did. Okay? They're trying to think they're somehow fucking otherworldly beyond the scope of the physical. And if you've ever seen Shinobi Heart Under Blade, that's a great film, and it's also fucking bullshit. Okay, like it's so much garbage.
Yeah.
Well, for real world shit, dude. You know, you may as well watch the fucking anime Basilisk and think, oh, yeah, no, these guys fucking can do this. No, man, they're the fucking seals before seals. They're the fucking, 800-year-old special forces, you know?
Yeah, they're kind of like the ancient Japanese version of an Army Ranger and a Navy SEAL.
Mm-hmm.
Mixed with like a British OSS spy to a degree.
And if you want to watch the fucking Star Wars version of that, they made movies and cartoons about it. Like, but it's not real.
Yeah, and the actual irony is in Japan, the shinobi are actually still viewed today as demons, evil people, and all sorts of like unholy heresy.
I mean, they've got a lot of political crap about that, and I mean, like, the samurai became corrupt. Okay. Yeah.
Well,
no. Oh my God. Oh yeah. No.
After the
Scooby's
Tokugawa
laughing.
shogunate ruled for God knows how long, everything just kind of what the hell.
The samurai were supposed to
What
be like.
Ieyasu had in mind was not what fucking happened in the end.
No. Yeah. And the samurai were supposed to be a class, and they were for a long time, about pure honor and discipline, and then of course all of these elite classes have the potential to become corrupt, and that was actually what the ninja were supposed to be, were the counter to that. Right?
Ninja started off as like the peasants and shit.
Yeah, sure, but the idea
the samurais started off as like the generals and stuff. They were like the general class, and then when Japan was like solidified under one rule, and all of the feudal era basically went out of Japan, there was no like need necessarily for the samurais, so they basically became like lords.
But yeah, and but what we were looking at was you're looking at two different groups of people.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. There's two different kinds of, like, technically there's two, even though there was a period where they were actually the same fucking people, there was still two different, like, I guess, culture classes of samurai. One is like a nobility type role, and then another one is like an actual warlord type role.
Yeah. And ideally they were supposed to be the same, and that you would have these nobles that upheld these noble ideals and could fight at the same time, right? And then suddenly it became fucking landowners versus non-landowners, and the landowners were no longer fucking noble, like in the principal sense of it. And the ninja were the
retaliation to the samurai.
Yes. Yeah. That they were a counter to that, and yeah, their techniques, their style.
Ninjas were reactionaries, therefore they're gay.
but you're looking at like a high enough of a super advanced technology would appear no different from magic to people uninitiated, right?
Yeah.
So the ninja had their ways of infiltrating, and they didn't share it because they were like, let's call it, for lack of a better word, the militia in the United States modern terms.
That's very much how they behave. They behave like a underground colonial militia.
But at the same time, because of the way things worked in Japan, they were completely unprincipled. They had no gods and no masters. So they would just fucking murder people they didn't like. And they had super secret fucking martial arts.
That was kind of the rule. Just fucking attack the other daimyos and just assault people, cause them to have to kill themselves and whatnot.
Yeah, and yeah.
Rest in peace, Oda Nobunaga. Nobunaga? How do you say it again? Yeah, I forgot. I just say Oda normally.
Oda Nobunaga.
Oda clan.
Yeah.
Ninjas were pretty fucking gay, honestly.
But
ninjutsu itself, though, as an art form, the art of stealth is pretty fucking based. But actual real world historical ninjas are pretty douchey, for real.
Douchey and gruesome, and that's. But straight goods. How is that different from the fucking the American Revolution?
Yeah, I mean, in a sense, I would actually say that unironically, minus like the stealth infiltration, like actual practice aspect.
Are you fucking kidding me? Fucking
ninja-
George Washington crossed the goddamn Delaware at the most dangerous point more than one time, and on Christmas Eve, he fucking waded across with his fucking team and murdered everybody in their sleep. Okay, that's fucking ninja as shit. Yeah,
but George Washington didn't dress in all black and have an anti-fascist mask on.
There's no way to explain it other than they had magic powers. Like, oh my god.
Got a point, man. And little known fact, ironically, in the ninja state of Iga, they actually did use firearms. They're well known for it, for firearms and explosives.
Ghost weapons.
Oh, the arquebus.
Yeah.
That shit. After, was it the Dutch or was it was originally the Dutch or the Portuguese?
It was
introduced them and they fucking ate that shit up.
Yeah, the Chinese refined it and then they sold it to the Japanese.
Japanese ate that shit like crazy.
No, but I mean, there's a painting, right? There's a painting of George Washington in his fucking powdered wig on a boat crossing the Delaware, right?
Wielding a katana.
Okay, no katana. But they have this, like, it's like iconic, right? That he's crossing the Delaware, standing upright with his fucking powdered wig. You know what he was doing when he was crossing the Delaware? They were fucking, they were wading through that goddamn river to murder people in their sleep.
Well, yeah, art is always an over dramatization of what actually happened.
But I mean, the reality of it was that these guys were fucking American ninjas, right?
Yeah.
That they went, they did the dirty work necessary to fucking take the advantage. And more than one time, they crossed this dangerous spot of the river. That's why that crossing of the Delaware is famous, is because they did it multiple times and fucking just brutalized everybody.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, like it's not some noble goal. It was fucking dirty and downright and just like bloody as all hell.
No. It was noble because fuck the British.
Oh, okay, sure. If you want to look at it from
I do. I'm an American citizen.
From 30,000. If you want to look at it from 30,000 feet, you can say farther in history that was a noble thing. But you want to go down to fucking 100 feet and watch it happen, guy? That was fucking gross.
I'd say
that
it was
fucking
more.
ninja and fucking.
I would have joined. I would have joined.
Oh my god, good for you. But
especially knowing what I know now. I mean, look. Let's just like, I like to judge outcome and try not to judge intent because it's hard to nail down intent, but you can nail down outcome. All I'm saying is look at America now, right? And just observe it, get that image in your head. And now look at England, right? Now look at England, right? Okay, so who the fuck deserved to get their ass kicked in the fucking Revolutionary War? It wasn't America. That's for damn sure.
I get you. I love it. I love that outcome. I love that principle. But you want to get down to the nitty gritty and you want to break it down here. These guys fucking got that fucking fists covered. All right, they fucking
that's
bloodied
a
it up.
given.
And it was, oh my god, it was.
I wish
dark.
they wouldn't have stopped. I wish they
I'm not saying it wasn't worth it.
I wish they would have packed everything up into fucking boats and it would have went overseas and it'd have finished the fucking job. That's what I wish they would have done.
You're not wrong, but you know what? It wasn't dark. It wasn't gross. It was fucking horrific. Okay, these guys were hard as shit, and they were literally American ninjas. You can't take that from them.
Dude,
they did it multiple times.
If we took the fight to them overseas, you know how different history would have been if the United States didn't stop at our own borders and just said, you know what, fuck it, we're coming over there, 1776 style.
I was gonna say,
we're taking the crown, we're taking that fucking island.
The War of 1812. What if we actually did more and invaded Canada a little?
No, that's the problem. Is you had invaded Canada. You took York.
I've seen
and
Canadian
the Canadians said, you know what? Fuck that. We're gonna fucking circle round and go down to Philly.
The thing that bothered me most about the War of
that John
1812 is basically it just shows right off the bat how completely there was no chain of command with the military in America at the time. There was no orders being given. There was complete disarray within the ranks and within the troops. Not knocking anything about the Canadians, mind you. It was just that the Canadians, there was nothing. There was no warning when the Americans showed up. They should have been able to do something, but instead they were basically going in circles. Now, the Canadians, to their credit, they had a smaller amount of people. They were much better organized, much better. They beat the hell out of the Americans. But I don't want to detract it from the Canadians. They were shooting into basically a bunch of people who had no idea what the hell they were doing. That was a goat fuck from the word go, the War of 1812.
Here's my understanding of it, if I may.
Basically, that everyone's like, yeah, I think that's the bigger threat at the moment. We'll settle this later, and then we never did, really.
What was once called York, okay, on which is now Toronto, on the lake, right? That was a great staging point for invasion for the British, and we were not yet Canada. Okay, we were basically a British colony. So the people of the new founded United States decided, you know what? We don't want that staging point to exist, and they went at it. And our people, who were again on the sort of the same page that we don't want to be ruled by the British. We've all been fucking. Most people who were over here at this point were condemned to be over here, right? Damn. Like you're sent here. You were sent to transportation.
Look, we were just trying to give you a what you would call a swift kick in the pants. You know what I mean?
But that it was like
we were just trying to, the little bar slap, like, hey, look, motherfucker, wake up, or I'm gonna fucking wake you up. All right.
At the time, it was a good city, and it was a good staging point, and so the new Americans decided to take it, and the pre-Canadians were like, okay, we can't fight them there, but you know what we can do? We can counter invade, and your people made a bit of a mistake in sending your massive army to York. And we sent our people to your capital at the time and just burned it to the ground. And suddenly it was like, okay, wait a minute. They actually have a sense of strategy, and yeah, we should be friends because we all hated British rule. None of us were for it. And so suddenly, a handful of years, like 1812, we became Canada 1867. So that's like 50 odd years later. We were already obviously against British rule. And so we basically showed the new Americans, we're no pussies. We're not British either. All right.
So you're welcome.
Neither of those things. Right. And yeah, in a matter of 50 years, we became a nation as well. And we've been friends ever since. Right. Scoob, you ever been in a fist fight with somebody you knew in the 5th grade?
Oh yeah, a lot of them.
Yeah. Okay. And now you're all friends, right?
For the most part.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. We got in a tussle, and now we know each other very, very well. Right? You can know people very well, but once you fucking lay a fist on that man and he puts his fist in your face, you know them better than you ever can hope to know another person. And we had our shit, and now we're fucking friends. And yeah, that's the fight of 1812. That's 1812, right? We're not British, bitch. Like, what the fuck? Are you fucking invading my land? I'm not British. That was the whole fight. That was the whole fight. Yeah.
All right, I'm gonna go to bed, Mr. B. I'll call you tomorrow.
Sarah.
No, you're not.
Good to see you.
Oh, yes, I will. Trust me. He will be getting a call from me. And I think he's doing rounds, so Scoob, Irving, would you guys make sure he gets that message?
I will tell him, definitely.
All
I'm going
right.
to probably call him myself in the next 5 minutes or so, just because I got to get up at 8 a.m. I got a few things to do.
Yeah, I was wondering, we ran on a little. I'm like, oh, because you
No,
started to raise your
it's-
voice, and I'm like, oh, is he gonna be like, yeah, guys, it's like 1 o'clock in the morning.
I went to talk a few times. It's just everyone kept making such good points. I don't like to interrupt or derail. Irv said this to me a few times. There's been times I've let the stream run 4 or 5 hours. You know?
No, but that's because I
Good
was
night, you
fucking off
guys.
the rails.
Night,
Okay.
Dara. Yeah. No, not just with you. I mean, it's like when Purposeful hopped in, all of a sudden the conversation got hot again. I don't want to kill it when it's going good. You know, that's
No,
just me.
yeah, you're
You want to
right.
know what
You're-
else happened
you're
in
absolutely
1812?
Mm.
In 1812, the first tranquilizer chair was introduced to pacify mentally disturbed patients and was designed in 1810 by Benjamin Rush, a Philadelphia surgeon. Rush published his investigations into medical inquiries and observations upon the diseases of the mind 2 years later. I have a picture here, and it's basically an electric chair with a
But
box.
sometimes Porpoise, like, it just sounds
So
like
maybe the Canadians were really red pilled on like torture, and they were like anti-torture, and they were like, you know what, we don't need these quote unquote isolation chairs. We don't like that. We don't like that. Fuck Philly.
sometimes
Fuck
though,
isolation
Porpoise, it
chairs.
just sounds like you're trying to fucking sully the relationship between the U.S. and Canada. And
we don't-
like, I get it. Like, Canada's not great. It really isn't. And you guys,
I like Canada, bro. Seriously, I've seen the footage, and I told you those Alpha Flight comics got me sold.
we've been well before, okay? And we've stuck up for ourselves. And that's what I mean. Is like, dude,
you guys got Wendigo. I mean, that's pretty big.
Burnside, time.
Yep.
Like, if you guys want to get in a ring with me for 3 rounds, 9 rounds, I'll fucking box. I'll box with you, and afterwards we'll still be friends. That's what Canada is.
I realized I haven't had a box.
I don't stand a chance against guys like this.
All
I
I'm
don't-
saying is that ultimately America needs a hat, and if it's gonna be anybody's hat, I'm okay with it being Canada's hat.
See, and that
because
sounds-
you guys, although you guys have really fucked up, retarded politics in comparison to us, you know how to keep it
That
on your
shit
side of the
sounds
border, and I
so
respect that.
condescending that I'd love to get in a fist fight with you and be friends afterwards.
Yeah,
Can we
I don't-
do that?
I don't-
If you and I can do
I don't
that,
fight hats.
I'd like to represent Canada on that behalf. All right, that like,
Oh man,
dude, we're not the pussies you think we are. That's my point. That's most of Canadians' point. We're not like that. We're not that fucking bullshit pussy apologist crap that happens all over the world. And yeah,
all right, now say you're sorry.
I'm not sorry. This is the one time I'm not sorry. All right. You know what? You know what? I'll apologize when we've gone 9 rounds and you're fucking hurting. Then I'll apologize. All right?
I love you.
And we'll still be friends. I hope.
Man.
Fuck, that's all well and good, but I'm an American. We all know I'm going to bring a gun to the fight.
You know what? We'll bring a gun to the fight. I'll disarm you, and then we'll box like men. All right. Okay.
Oh God, my cheeks are hurting from smiling so much. This is great. I love both of you. Seriously,
We are
this is
not.
awesome.
We are not pussies. Don't think that we're pussies. We're polite. That's part of our culture. Okay.
Bro, I think Canada. I
grin
think of like
and-
this big guy that's like 6'6", 300 pounds, lumberjack with a big fucking beard and a French accent, eating like fucking stacks of pancakes. That's what I think of. I think of tough fucking people out in the cold working their asses off. I have never in my life thought that Canadians were pussies. I don't know. That's I think maybe you think in like other parts of the country. Maybe it's because we share the border with you guys with Niagara.
Think of
but
Canada I met you guys was that there was like a type of Canadian culture war between like traditional polite giant Canada and then French sodomite Canada. And you educated me that that was just a meme and not an actual thing. So I was like, oh, okay.
Yeah. Yeah. No. And I mean, that's what I mean is the French Canadians are actually the fucking baddest people right now. They're a meme, and yet somehow they're protecting our borders as best they can. And
but I stayed a lot more in Quebec for certain reasons. Also, I know a shit ton of Romanians that live in Quebec.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, there's a ton of Europeans that speak French in Quebec, and they consider themselves mostly Quebecois, right? Because they speak the language.
Mm-hmm.
But they're ethnically can be a plethora of things, and if you speak French, nobody gives a shit about your ethnicity, right? And here in English-speaking Canada, dude, do not fucking count us out. Like Burnside, I think you're smaller than me. Scooby, you're bigger. I'll get in a fist fight with both of you. Let's get in the ring. Let's do it proper, and afterwards we'll still be friends because I'm polite enough to fucking have you as my friend. That even if you were mad at me, if I fucking win, I'll still be nice enough to be your friend.
You're on me.
You know?
That's what I'm saying. If you and me box Irv and you win, I'm buying the first 2 rounds.
If you win, I'll buy the rounds. All right? Like, I mean, that's we're not we're not pansies, man. We're fighters. We have been the entire time. We went to World War I, we went to World War II.
Everybody forgot.
Of course they did, because we're a minority, right? We have so few people, right?
But we're done remembers the Canadians.
Oh my
was it
God.
the Canadians in Rwanda, or was it Yugoslavia that they actually fucking did something when everybody else did like jack shit?
Kosovo. And we paid dearly for it. Our people that went to Kosovo got in a whole lot of trouble for finding out what was happening. Yeah. No, time. Look
there
into
was a
that.
narrative going on.
I know
and
a
the
shit
narrative
ton
getting
about
out.
Yugoslavia and the whole breakup and ethnic bits and pieces.
Oh
Trust
my
me.
God. Oh no! You're a student of history. Find out what happened with Canada in Kosovo.
If I remember,
in
it
the
was
90s.
similar to the Belgians in Rwanda, aka not very good.
Oh,
Then
it was worse. It was worse.
If what I remember, I just want to point this out from what I remember because this stuck with me over 20 years. Didn't Slobodan Milosevic have? Thank you, Milosevic. Didn't he have cards that he issued to his troops to hold up next to a person, and if their complexion didn't match the card, you iced them, basically?
It wasn't.
I don't think it was
complexion.
Milosevic in the trials. It was more like not Brezhnik. Fuck, what was his name? It started with a B. He was one of them that was major in Bosnia in the Yugoslav.
You probably asked that.
Like I know there's Karzik, but he wasn't a soldier. This was like BR something. He's fucking dead now. He's hung, I think. Either that or I know he's very dead for several reasons.
That nation was split in 3 or more parts over Kosovo. And the Albanians were largely Muslim.
Hey.
So now I don't know.
Ottomans.
Yeah. Now looking back, I don't know what it was that the Canadian forces discovered, because no one knew what was happening until the Canadians went in there. 11,000 or so forces. Is that time? Do you know about this?
I don't remember the exact numbers of anything.
Okay. But it was a large number of Canadian forces that went in there and found out that a certain number of people were basically trying to murder everyone. And there was 3 factions, and Canadians and maybe a handful of Americans, like a few hundred.
Yeah.
were working together with the Canadian forces and like slow like I don't even know at this point, but it's starting to sound like Slobodan Milosevic was actually like he might have been a hero who knew the Muslim threat, that Islam was fucking overrunning everything, and it wasn't genocide. It was like counter fighting to genocide.
Well, the whole reason the Yugoslav breakup came was because he went to Kosovo, which is the most poor area of Serbia, despite throughout history having a gold mine, like having a major gold mine.
That's funny.
It went away in like the fucking 1600s. I think it ran out because that's when it started. So it was really poor, and there was ethnic Albanians there who were always kind of persecuted because if you know anything about Serbians, they don't like us Albanians.
No, yeah, but were Albanians Muslim?
It's a bit of, well, when it comes to Albania, it's a mix of Catholics from the Crusader state days, Orthodox from the Byzantine Empire, even though that kind of waned after a while, and Muslim because of the Ottoman Empire being the fucking Ottoman Empire and ruining everything.
I'm relying on you, Time, to hit me up with the proper history, because sometimes it's like...
Basically, Albania, well, not to be confused with the Albania that's in the Eastern Caucasus from like ancient times, where it's like, oh, that's Albania. No, that's Azerbaijan now, but it was part of Georgia soon.
No, but I mean, Islam versus the other factions, right? Like sometimes Islam can go fucking nuts, right?
Yeah, it was more of the Albanians really after a while. They tend to have enough, like they wanted to succeed to Albania quite a while because they were generally persecuted. Like when Slobodan Milosevic was brought down to Kosovo, this was before the Kosovo War. This is like at the start of the Yugoslav breakup. He's talking about how Serbs were basically spreading rumors that they're being persecuted by Albanians.
Serbs is Islamic. Were they Muslim?
No, they're mostly Orthodox Christians because they spent less time. They were more autonomous under the Ottoman Empire. Well, after Skanderbeg's rebellion was crushed, after Skanderbeg died, and his son Joan, or how the fuck you say the name?
You're blowing my mind here.
Basically, in the 1500s, there was so there's the Fourth Crusade, which fucked the Byzantine Empire. So the Empire of the Romans got really, really fucking tiny after being replaced by a Catholic empire, because fuck you, we're crusaders and we don't understand what the fuck we were crusading for, and decided, hey, let's destroy Constantinople, because that sounds like a fucking wonderful idea because we're not getting paid. Basically, there was crusader states everywhere. And then there was the Turkish beyliks in Anatolia from the Seljuk Turks, which basically shoved the fucking Byzantine Empire back into almost just the Balkans, but they were able to hold at a point. So there's Anatolia gets lost somewhere along the line, and there's all these Turkish beyliks everywhere. One of them happens to be the House of Osman, which becomes the Ottomans. And basically they slowly mop up, they attack the Byzantines. They get pretty strong, they don't have Constantinople. And they have like a bunch of other areas. They annex Bulgaria, which the Bulgarians are fucking... Everyone in the Balkans hates them for several different reasons. There's a lot of history with the Bulgarians fucking people over. Also, they were steppe nomads before they kind of just settled into what became Bulgaria. Before they were like fucking Mongols, more or less. But how was I saying? Yeah, they annexed Bulgaria. So Timur, which is one of my favorite conquerors, he's fucking insane, but he's interesting. Basically, he mops up Persia and goes all the way through the Levant and like Meshkrik, which is like Iraq and whatnot. And he fights more or less. The Levant is just Syria, Israel, all that bit. So he mops up that for the most part, and he ends up reaching into Anatolia and defeating the Ottomans. And I believe he captured the Ottoman Sultan once, and then later he didn't accidentally. Later he killed him in battle as a consequence of a battle. So the Ottomans went into a civil war, and basically they started to somewhat fracture.
You've got to,
but not enough. So, Skanderbeg, who was an Albanian, which I don't remember his actual name.
You've gone way too far back. I'm talking
I know.
about.
I'm just trying to set up the Balkans.
No, but I mean, at the time, Canada walked in. Slobodan Milosevic was doing things. What's happening there? Because all our guys, all my Canadian people got fucking punished for being there, basically.
Yeah, the Serbs don't play nice a lot of the time. That's the thing.
Hey? Repeat, please.
Oh, I said the Serbs. The Serbs don't really play nice a lot of times. That's the thing with the Balkans. Is the Balkans are generally
I mean, our leaders got fucking slammed and they were fucking, what's the word? Court-martialed for being there. Like, what happened at that point? What was going on then? You've given us a great history, man. What the fuck happened in the 90s?
I remember it was a shit ton of... Okay. So basically, Albanians got into their modern state of Albania after the fall of the Ottomans, but the whole reason they were there in the first place was, they were going to be split in between Greece. I don't think Bulgaria was supposed to get something, but everybody fucks over the Bulgarians because nobody in the Balkans liked the Bulgarians. I think that's what I was trying to mention earlier. And Serbia was going to annex them as an autonomous region. So there's a lot of ethnic Albanians in the Kosovo region.
See, and here's the thing is, in the late 90s, in Canada, we had a ton of fucking Croatians.
The Croats was getting pinned for being Nazi collaborators because they had a puppet state made like Vichy France. So that was another reason.
But
with the
why
Serbs.
were we taking Croats and not fucking Serbs? Give me that.
Well, one with the Serbs is, holy fuck, their nationalism. That was kind of the whole thing that kicked the whole thing off. The breakup was...
And why did why did my fucking warriors, like literally, why did my soldiers fucking pay a price for this? I don't, like, you seem to have a great handle on history. Why are my people fucking, like, dude, some of my people were court-martialed for this. And we took Croats and we didn't take Serbs. What's happening in the 90s, in the late 90s, mid and late 90s?
I know that's the question, is everything's shifting, tensions are high, and people are like, oh, these people aren't like us, so let's just fucking kill them.
So
and once someone sets the precedent...
Milosevic is getting fucking... did he get hung at some point?
He died in The Hague. I don't remember if he was actually executed. He died in jail. He's a war criminal for several reasons. He dodged the Yugoslav wars. And he was charitable to the Bosnians.
But why were we why that's the thing. Why do we in Canada, who are so fucking welcoming, have very few Bosnians in that time, but we have all of these fucking Serbs and Croats?
That's a question, because the Bosnians, they never surrender. Like, even back in the Ottoman times, they rebelled so many fucking times and they were slaughtered. They rebelled even more than the Serbs at times. And they were just slaughtered time after time after time after time. It was similar to Poland trying to get free after...
Similar to fucking Israelis or Jews.
I'd say the Commonwealth, like back in the day from Poland, Lithuania, that there was like, okay, let's go with Napoleon and rebel. Let's go with this and rebel. Let's just keep rebelling.
People are all Christian, as far as I know.
Right? Yeah, well, the German Empire was Protestant, more or less, under Prussia. The Orthodox was the Russian Empire, and Austria-Hungary was Catholic, but there's a shit ton of Orthodox, not Germanic peoples and Hungarians in the entire place, because it was all Transylvanians. And
does that include these people?
It included, that's the thing, the Bosnians got sort of free from the Ottoman Empire and then were immediately fucking annexed by the Austrians. So they were stuck under their persecution for a while, trying to be Christianized, but, that didn't last long because then World War I happened, because if you didn't guess, they weren't very happy about it. So the Bosnians will stay and fight forever. That's the thing. were surrounded in Sarajevo. They were surrounded in Srebrenica, and
weren't the Bosnians mostly Muslim?
Yes and no. It's like the same thing with Albanians. That
Bosnians
you can't think of it as
and
homogenous.
Albanians were to a degree. Like how much, like percentage wise?
I need to look it up, but if you look, they're majority. But the thing is, they've been slowly Islamicized over the years. That's probably not the right fucking word. It's 1:38 in the morning. Yeah. But they were slowly converted over the years because when you live under a fucking Muslim society, you get to play Jiza, you get to play Dervishim back in the day, which basically meant, hey, guess what? Your Christian sons are going in the military. But it was basically more advantageous and less likely to be persecuted or fucking killed if you changed to Islam. Hence the reason. The Serbs didn't fucking give up. The Bosnians converted over the years. The Croats were always, for the most part, underneath, because they were a part of Hungary when Hungary was huge, because they got into a personal union. So they were always Catholic, really, under that. And they were Catholic in the first place. That's the thing. Well, Bosnia did have a fair amount of Catholics. They were mostly Orthodox. Serbia was Orthodox, like homogeneously Orthodox. Albania was Orthodox, and then later Catholic, then later fucking everything, because whoever takes you over then wants you to be their religion over history. So it's like, okay, you can be this, but then you're slowly pushed into this. It's really fucking hard with like the percentages.
Yeah, no, I hear you. And oh god, okay, I am fucking done. I can't do this anymore. There will be no after hours, guys.
I think this was after hours.
yeah, pretty much.
No, Scooby ran it long, and I appreciate it. Good man, thank you for that. But dude, I've got to. For me, I have to call it. If you guys want to run, go ahead. I don't give a shit.
No, I was gonna say, if you guys want to like chill yourselves really quick, since it's down to like just what is it, 3 of us at this point? 4 of us. 4 of us. Yeah. If you guys want to just, you guys want to chill really quick
and capitulate like I'm gonna fucking die. I'm done. All right, okay. I'm Irving Twin. You can find me. Give me 2 new subs, and I have 200 on my main channel. I also have a sub channel, Irving Twin Gaming. And dudes, you guys have been so good to me. I really appreciate these conversations. These have been great. You like a time to speak. You've got this knowledge of history that oh dude, do me a favor, fucking focus if you can on Canadian forces in Kosovo in the 90s. I'd love to hear, because what I know, what I've learned about it, I'm sure your whatever it is that you do, you'll fucking master it in minutes. And I'd love to have more information on it. Because our people pay dearly. But Scooby, thank you for having me as always. If I cross lines and shit, I'm sorry. And you know what? Yeah, no.
Basically, the rule for the Balkans is everything's a fucking mess all of the time.
Yeah,
that's generally that's how you can describe the whole area. Is there's always some mess going on.
Yeah, I buy it, But there was some big deals down there, including that man Slobodan Milosevic, and
I want to see if he actually was
I'm
hanged
not
or
sure
if he died
what the hell
in the
happened there. Canada-wise, we fucking paid a price. Our people paid dearly for fucking going there, and it's so stupid. It's so weird.
Also, can I interrupt real quick? The one guy I was talking about, that was the one that was basically like he ordered the massacre at Srebrenica, where basically the UN had this little safe zone or whatever they called it. It was like a special thing that we're protecting this, but we're not. He's the one that was ordered that they go in and massacre every single man and boy over the age of 16, I think. And basically just took all the women. Because the UN couldn't do shit because it's the fucking UN, and it's like, hey, this shit's going on that we should be helping, but we're not because policy.
Yeah,
but he also was the one that shelled Sarajevo, which that was saying what Milosevic reminded me was at the end of the war when they were talking with the treaty. He ended up saying to the Bosnians that you can honestly have whatever part of it that they were arguing. I think it was the Republic of Srpska, which is a very autonomous region that's basically Serbs and bits of Croats in Bosnia.
Sure.
You can have that because you guys fought on the streets while they fucking shot you from the hills with artillery. He's just, I don't know. The man's it's like sometimes he's balanced, other times he's a fucking madman. His rise to power was basically pushing his predecessor out of office. Because he was his vice president, I want to say. And he ended up forcing him out of office, more or less, through political pressure. I don't know. He's an autocrat. That's the thing.
See, I mean, at this point, I don't know what our Canadian forces accomplished. And accomplished or didn't accomplish, these guys were punished. And, no, if you want to look into that and hit us up another time, because you're our token student of history, right? And God, I'll look into it too. But if you're
he died in a heart attack, okay, he didn't kill himself or he wasn't executed. Sorry, I just had to look at that.
Sure, but time if you're willing to look deeper into the specifics of the Canadian people in the 90s, I will look too, and you're as a student of history, you're not going to refuse this, right?
No, I'll keep looking into it because I'm going to have a shit ton of time. I also need to fucking finish my script from like 3 months ago for fucking How to Ruin a Republic.
Do it. Oh, do it.
I haven't had the time. Like, I'm sifting through end roll footage because that's what I've had time for. Is like, okay, this doesn't take as long as writing. But I need to finish scripting that because Jesus fucking Christ, that was supposed to come out in like early March.
Yeah, no, I hear you.
It just depends.
But guys, thanks you all for having me.
Not a problem, Merv. It's always a pleasure.
I apologize. I'm out of it too.
Yeah, there will be no after hours. I'm done. I'm toast.
I'm going to sleep right after this, tell you the truth.
Yeah, I hear that. I'm going to do the same. All right. Irv, you shield yourself?
Yes, I did.
All right. Time. Did you shield yourself or?
Well, I basically said I need to make content again. I'm uploading end roll, which people are apparently watching. Maybe the one guy that subscribed to me in the middle of this. I forgot his name. 1 second. Let me open up Firefox.
Can I get 2 subs? Come on, guys.
Yeah, seriously, for those of you who are still with us in chat who haven't fallen asleep yet, sub to these gentlemen because they are definitely worth your time. Burnside, are you still awake or?
Oh my God.
All right, he's passed out, so he's got a whole bunch of shit. He's on every platform except mine, so he got thrown off of there. So look for him on Twitter. Look for him on Gab. He's on YouTube. I think he's on BitChute, and I know he's got T-shirts on Redbubble and flags like the one that you see behind Irv there. It's all on his Redbubble.
What can men do against such reckless flaggatry?
I say we just have this stream, just leave it on and wait for Burnside to come back and be like, fuck.
You know, that happens
we
to
see
me about...
We see the recording tomorrow, and it's just hours of silence, and Burnside's just like, shit.
They do it to me occasionally.
There was some stream that we were having. I forget what the hell was going on, but I don't think it wasn't one of my streams that I was hosting. So I passed out. I fell asleep while we were streaming, and I wake up and he's presenting, and there's Burnside in his security outfit, Eating a sandwich. This is what I wake up to. I'm like, what the fuck?
Hey.
I wake up and I go, what the fuck? He's like, oh, good, you're awake.
I know, like the second you sent me the invite, I'm like, shit, because I just made myself noodles. I'm like, I'm gonna wait a few minutes because I don't feel like going on chaos. And just
Noodles, bitch.
Yeah, I'm making my kimchi noodles because all my see the stuff I was making this Korean beef bowl.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I have them for microwavable. I haven't cooked in quite a while. I'm a terrible cook, great baker. So I'm about to make it. The thing's frozen so much that everything's just soggy with water when I'm out. So I'm like, I can't eat this. So I had fries for dinner from my roommate who ordered takeout. And I'm like, you know what? I need to eat something tonight. I probably should eat something tonight. I'm like, guess what? It's noodle time. And I'm not touching that ramen because the ramen's just sad.
I know what you mean. I felt really bad myself. I felt really bad all day because I lost a lot of weight in the past like 2-3 weeks. You know, I've been doing good actually. I lost a lot of fat, but unfortunately, it's down to the end of the month. It's not that. It's just it was down to the end of the month, and I had coupons, and I was strapped for cash. So McDonald's.
You know what?
I can't eat that shit. I fucking die.
Scooby, if you're interested, I can lose you, Christ, at what, 6'2", 230?
No, I already lost a ton of weight. That's why I was just mad at myself because
You're 6'2",
try communism,
230, right?
Mm-hmm.
I'll lose you the next 40 if you have a modicum of discipline.
Oh, I have a lot of discipline.
Oh, my man. Okay, all right. Then we should talk, and yeah. But at this point, I am fucking powering through because I am going to fucking die. I'm not going to sleep. I'm going to die. So I'm hopping off. Good night, guys. Thank you for having me.
Don't worry.
Yeah. I know. I haven't taken my pills, and I feel like I've taken my pills.
I just fucking did everything I have. I have nothing left. Good night. Thank you so much.
You got it, bro. Good night, bro.
See you, man.
Yeah, I gotta kill this. I'm starting to get cross-eyed myself that time.
Yeah,
so,
I kind of lost the point like halfway through. I'm like, well, where were we again? I always like to teach things in timelines just because then I usually remember where we left off. Is that if arguing an issue, I try to be chronological with it for a lot of the time. It's just because you can know when you have to keep moving forward. It's not, wait, did we touch on this part and have to go back and be like, oh yeah, then this happened.
Yeah.
Like I remember when I mentioned the Bulgarians, I mentioned that earlier on because I'm like, this will be important later.
I'm glad you're keeping track. I'll be honest. I'm completely delirious at this point.
Yeah. Oh, no. Half of this stuff, I'm like, I remember what I'm talking about. Oh, is that a living Burnside?
Yeah, sorry. I'm doing the rounds going in. I decided to get a sandwich.
Speaking of, just telling you.
I was quiet because I was trying to listen to the history lessons. I love history lessons. It's like
this is history from a very tired man and a very other tired man.
Yeah, seriously.
Like every other 12, 13 minutes, I had to get up and do the rounds. And I'm like catching up. I'm just like, all right. And then I was like, oh damn, I'm hungry. All right, good thing no one's around. Let me go nuke something up real quick.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna steal myself a fiber bar before. Actually, you shouldn't eat before I go to bed.
Yeah, I was gonna say Burnside. If you want to show yourself really quick, because the minute you're done, I'm killing the stream.
Yeah, I'm just.
All right. I am the Burnside Film Project. You can find me on YouTube, BitChute, Gab AI. On there, I'm the Burnside Film Project. On Twitter, I go by Burnside_bums. We'll be getting hopefully more of the backline stuff done because I, once again, due to work, being idiots, got a 3-day weekend. So hopefully get more of that done. And I will have more stuff up on Redbubble. I'm working on something special buddy of ours. And if he likes it, I might be doing more of this stuff. We'll see how everything goes. Other than that, I'm gonna go and try and do my damnedest to get downtown for May Day. Although, unlike the rest of the commutards, I'm not gonna be there for anti-Donald Trump this, and I want to go sodomize that, and I want to go put a garbage can on fire and have sex with a football bat. I'm actually gonna be going there for historical purposes because Little known fact: in the 1800s, we actually had a big labor movement that happened in Chicago. And long story short, because of a clusterfuck that happened, 8 anarchists got hung under false pretenses because somebody decided when the cops came that they're going to throw a dynamite bomb at them. And we said, all right, the ADU schmucks are the leaders of this whole thing, and we're just going to say you did it and hang yous. And I'm going to see how many people in particularly know who Adolf Fischer is. That's because I want to see how stupid these fuckheads are.
See, that always reminds me of the one serial killer.
It's those names, Fisher and stuff. That one goes with the other happens. Yeah, there was an Albert Parsons though. An interesting little fact about him I wound up learning about was he was a former Confederate soldier that turned anarchist and actually married a half Mexican, half Native girl, Lucy Parsons. And I suppose that's about it. I don't think they've really got anything else too special going on. When I host Monday, I'll let you guys know we got more stuff going on for more next time.
All right, cool. What were you saying, Time?
Oh, no. I was thinking of Albert Fish. Have you ever heard of him? The Brooklyn vampire? The one that ate children and then sent letters to their fucking parents saying about how happy it was after he was in prison. How he enjoyed it.
Yeah,
Well,
yeah. Sick weirdo. I remember that.
I remember the fucking weird old guy. That's what came to mind immediately. I'm like, wait a minute.
Something with that name, I guess.
Yeah, it's people that got the name like Fish and Fisher. They're some type of radical crazy. You barely get a sane one.
Yeah, he was born in Bremen, Germany. The guy you're talking about. That's an interesting area.
All right, and let me see. I've been your MC for this evening. Since I think we actually even lost Drawn Tech Marine at this point. We're down to 0 viewers. So at this point now, it's just for posterity's sake. I have been your MC for this evening. I am Scooby.
Fuck raisins.
Yeah, right. We've gone on. It's in another hour, another 5 minutes. I think we would have hit the 4-hour mark. So
or less.
Yeah.
It's in the morning over here, so I know it's going to be 2 up by you.
Yeah. So it's been a long evening, but I'm glad that we had the entire panel come out. I'm really glad you guys stuck out from the beginning to the end. That's really good on both of you.
I can't say if I'm still here.
I wish I didn't have to do it, so I couldn't be.
Yeah, but I want to thank everybody for coming by tonight. I want to thank everybody in the chat for sticking through to the end. You know, I did say I was closing the stream out like 3-4 times over the past 20 minutes, so I can't blame them for hopping off at this point.
Get there eventually.
But tomorrow night, you guys know the deal. Weebo Jones's channel will be on there, and I'll be here again at the same time next week. You guys can find me here on YouTube. I'm on Minds, Gabe AI, Patreon, PayPal, and Twitter as NotScooby331. And just want to thank everybody for tonight. Yep. And until next week, thanks again, guys, and have a great night. Take care. Bye-bye.